The NASCAR Busch Series at Milwaukee is brought to you by Holiday Inn Racing. Always stay under the green. And by Aaron's, with over 1,400 stores nationwide. Everyone's a lucky dog at Aaron's. And Carino's Italian Grill. The grill is open. Closing in on the command to start engines as we get ready to go tonight here in Milwaukee. Andy, let's talk race now. Tires and pit strategy you think is going to be huge tonight?
I do, Alan, because when you're at a 1 mile racetrack, it's really hard to pass. Track position is so important that these guys are probably going to be, look at the tires are worth something, but it's not sometimes not as worth it as much as track position. So these guys are going to be jockeying back and forth trying to figure out how to get their guy up front.
And Rusty, a quick thought on that 20 car starting on pole. The kid's going to race it that wasn't expecting to, it looks like.
Well, it looks like Eric Amarillo is going to drive that car, and I'll tell you what, he's going to do good in it, too. He's practiced it, he's qualified, he's familiar with it. Leave him in that car is the right decision. Hamlin's just too late. He'd get in the car, and he wouldn't drive good. He'd be frustrated and mad probably from the helicopter ride and all that mess.
So Scott Wimber will start third now, and Eric Almirola there getting instructions from crew chief Dave Rogers will lead the field to the green flag momentarily. Time to get started. Let's go trackside for the command to start engines.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome our Grand Marshal, President of AT&T Wisconsin, Scott Vandersanden.
Drivers, start your engines.
Great sound. Engines fired up, ready to go racing here in Milwaukee. There's our in-race reporter, Scott Wimmer, says this is Daytona to a Wisconsin guy. He'll talk to us in just a couple of minutes. Ben Steger, the tire carrier for Stephen Light's got the crew camp tonight. We'll keep an eye on him. ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series tonight, coming to you from the Milwaukee Mile. 250 laps, 250 miles tonight for 43 drivers. One will go to victory lane at evening's end. Take a look at the ticker at the top of the screen. We'll show you how they'll start in tonight's race. Eric Almirola will be in that 20 car instead of Denny Hamlin. And you look at the rest of the rundown, Todd Bodine going to start in place of Dave Blaney in the 10 car tonight. Time for our in-race reporter, Scott Wimmer, starting third. Rusty?
Scott, Rusty Waddle, ESPN, you got us?
I got you.
Scott, you're fastest in both practice sessions, and hey, this is your hometown, man. You are getting around this racetrack better than anybody. What's it feeling like?
It's really exciting to be back here in Milwaukee. And Scott is my hometown racetrack. I've been coming here since I was a little kid. Sat right down here in turn one and watched Dick Trickle, my Uncle Larry Deaton, and Rusty Wallace win a lot of races. And that's really what's driving me today. Hopefully I can do the same.
Scott, this racetrack is so flat, it's really hard to pass on. I know you got to have some special places you picked out to pass. Where do you think most of the passing is going to happen here tonight at Milwaukee?
Really, Dick Trickle told me a long time ago, you got to keep your car free through the center. And he told me a lot of other things, but he mainly told me you got to keep the car free through the center. I think you're going to see most of the passes done there through the center and up off the corner. Our Holiday and Chevrolet is really good. Hopefully we can do that all night long.
All right, Scott, thanks a lot. Thanks for talking to us, buddy. Have a great race tonight.
Thank you.
Wimmer from the inside of row 2, top right of the screen. The man who'll call the shots from atop the pit box, Pat Smith. Andy?
Hey, Pat Smith, Andy Petrie at the booth. You got a copy? Hey, Pat, this is a flat racetrack here at Milwaukee, and we see a lot of strategies played out. What kind of strategies do you think will be played out on pit road tonight?
So really, track position is really key here at Milwaukee. You see a lot of times these races are won just by guys staying out or taking 2 tires. So I think you're going to see a lot of different things happening tonight. Our car works really good on 4 tires, so I think we're going to try to just fire 4 tires in it every time. Hopefully we get a long green flag run at the end. That'll really help us out.
Thank you very much, Scott. Hey, Pat, have you guys, are you geared up for some different strategies down on pit road?
Absolutely. I mean, as it stands right now with tires, we can put on a set every every 50 laps. You know, fuel's going to be around 80 laps. So being up front, we're going to have to probably make the decisions first before everybody else, and either some of them's going to follow us at some point, some of them probably leave us hanging out. So we'll just play the strategy, make sure we're there at the end.
Yeah, this track's changed some since you guys practiced and qualified. Is your car adjustable, and do you think you'll see a lot of chassis adjustments on pit road?
I'm sure nobody's perfect right now. We're definitely have some strategies to go either way, a little tighter or looser. Some of the trucks last night actually did get a little bit free, so we should be able to go either way. We'll just have probably 3 shots at it, so we just got to make them count.
Hey, thanks, Pat, for talking to us, and have a great race.
You know how people down in the garage and pit areas can be so merciless with their teasing. When people get home from that pit crew and watch the TiVo or the VHS on that thing, you don't think Scott's going to get razzed a little bit, do you?
He's trying to be the crew chief and the driver tonight.
Well, Scott's ready to go. There's no doubt about that. He talked to me earlier when I went down to talk to him about the race tonight, and he really understands his car. And when you said, hey, Pat, what's it like? And Scott answered, you could tell he's amped up, man. He's ready to go. And hey, that was kind of pretty cool. I like that.
Got some great onboard views to take you through the Milwaukee race here tonight. Mike Wallace, Tim McCready, first start for Richard Childress in the 21. There's Richard Johns in a race car, not jumping out of a plane. Talked to Scott Wimmer earlier, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in Ed Rentzie's 35 car. Kelly Byers still filling in for John Wood in the 47. Their son, Steven. Heard he's a little under the weather tonight, huh?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a flu bug. He's not feeling real well, and but I think he'll be just fine. Once he smells that engine fuel, man, it'll be good.
And David Ruderman in the Michael Waltrip Racing 99. All right, Andy, give us some things to watch for.
Well,
all right, you wait on that.
Okay,
I jumped the gun on you. Let's get out of pit road and let's get some things to watch for from there. Jamie, bail me out.
You guys are having so much fun up there. You know, there's a lot of new faces out here, and one guy to watch for in the 1 car. J.J. Yaley is not here tonight. He stayed in Sonoma, California. Johnny Benson, the man who won the truck race here last night, is behind the wheel. Now, the ironic thing is he's driving for James Finch, the guy that fired him from this same team 3 years ago. He picked up the phone and said, I'm pumped about the opportunity. He hopes to make it back to victory lane for the 2nd time. Let's go to Shannon.
Well, Jamie, it's official. Eric Almirola is starting this race in the number 20 car. The team quickly changed those seat inserts, and Almirola rolled off pit road. Now, Denny Hamlin is currently still on his way to the track. According to the team, he's getting a police escort. I asked crew chief Dave Rogers if the team would think about making a driver change mid-race. He said as long as Eric feels comfortable in that car, they'll leave him in it. He won the pole. They'll let him win the race. Dave?
Shannon, drivers are rarely openly nervous before a race, but sometimes they go strangely quiet. That's what happened when I spoke to Jason Leffler just a few minutes ago. And I asked him, are you a little nervous about tonight? What's going on? He said, I think we have a shot. That makes any driver nervous, Alan.
All right, Dave. All right, and Mr. Petrie, now what to watch for?
Okay, this is what I'm going to watch for. We're here at Milwaukee on a flat racetrack, and I'll tell you what, this track position is going to be so important. It's so hard to pass here, so these guys are going to be trying everything they can to keep their guy up front, and they're going to use race strategy to do it. Maybe changing 2, maybe not not changing any, and brakes. We got to make sure we keep brakes on the car all night long.
All right, we're set for the start. Enjoy the race. Let's go full throttle. We're about to go racing at Milwaukee.
Race cars in. Be ready. Be ready. Outside. 2 car lengths. You got one to your bumper. Inside. Another one looking. Inside. Outside. You're all clear. 5 car lengths behind you. Still there. Still there. Still there. Clear low. Clear behind him. Got a little bit of room here. You got a real fast race car. Inside there. Go get him.
Eric Almirola was ready for that green flag. Gone. Out in front.
This track is so flat, Alan. Getting that track position and getting that good jump is something really clear. Eric did a great job doing that. But, you know, I was looking back in the pack as that started. The 22 spun and got into the wall a little bit. He didn't spin completely out, but got the right rear quarter panel up in that thing.
Let's check it out. Mike Bliss in the 22.
Just up high on the racetrack. Just look back here a little bit out of the groove. bam, in the wall, but just barely ticked it, and it didn't really hurt anything. Andy, it looks
he's going
like
to be fine with that. He won't have any damage from that. He's maybe got a scratch or two on the body, but that won't hurt the car at all.
Yeah, it looks like the right front fender might be pushed in just a little bit, but about an inch. I think it's going to be just fine.
So settling out single file at the very head of the pack, Almirola in the 20, Leffler in the 38, Wimmer in the 29. Some side-by-side racing a little deeper in the field as we check on Mike Bliss. That 22 car is back in 17th spot.
Yeah, but he's not feeling it out. He's just trying to make some spots here. He's driving hard. No real damage on the car, but I think when we looked at that replay when he was coming off the corner, it looked like if it had been another coat of paint, it had been a total loss. So I tell you, it probably took his breath.
And I tell you what, I don't think I could have stuck my finger in there. It was so tight. And you know, the first thing you don't want to have a problem with is hitting a wall on the start of the race. But he kind of skirted death on that one, Al. I think he got away with that one, that's for sure.
Let's talk about Almirola here for a second. I practiced the car all day. I qualified it on the pole. I'm not going to get to race. I'm not going to get to the race. What? Denny's late? What? I'm going to get to race? He must be just excited right now.
Oh, he's got to be loving it. He was on the pole position. Like you said, you know, he did all the practicing. He did all the qualifying. And for sure, he's the best driver to have in a car right now. He understands the characteristics. And, you know, I was talking to the team a little while ago this afternoon, and I said, why is Denny driving this car? I said, well, Rockwell Automation, this is the world headquarters for him. They wanted to get Denny in here because it's the big show here in Milwaukee for him. But, you know, the right choice is leaving Eric in this car. He ran really good last week.
It looks to me like it's definitely the right choice. This guy's qualified the car on the pole. He's been fast in both practice sessions, and he's got a chance to win, man. I tell you, this is a great opportunity for him.
Let's get more from the leader's pitch. Shannon?
Rusty, that is exactly what Dave Rogers said to Eric Almirola on the radio when they started this race. He said, listen, I have full faith in you. It has nothing to do with Denny Hamlin sitting in this car. It has to do with scheduling. And he also said, good thing you went to the driver's meeting.
Oh, man, that's got to be the most bummed out guy at the racetrack.
That's not where he wanted to watch this race from.
That is Denny Hamlin. Flew all the way here, 1,828 miles from Sonoma.
And missed it by that much.
Yeah. Guys, I'll tell you what, the thing that's got me totally confused is, talked to Carl Edwards, said he had to stop twice for fuel.
Yeah.
What in the world is he flying for an airplane that doesn't have any gas in it, runs that slow? I mean, I would think if I'm going to Milwaukee, I'd have me a rocket ship, baby, with a lot of gas and knowing that I can get there. But evidently, these guys didn't think too hard about the proper airplane to take out here.
This, by the way, from a licensed pilot who flies
yeah,
a
this
jet.
is crazy that they had to stop twice. Most planes can make it nonstop.
It's all in the plans. Carl Edwards, championship leader, is hanging in 6th position. He started 9th, Jamie.
Scanner just died on me, so I don't know if we have one down here.
And guys, you're talking about Carl Edwards. He was in a fast jet. He was actually in his owner, Jack Roush's jet. The problem was there was a pilot flying the plane. They were in such a rush when they stopped off in Iowa. They wanted just the minimum amount of fuel to get them here. The problem was they came up short. They had to stop an hour from here in Madison, Wisconsin. So therefore, Carl Edwards had to make the sprint. He made it, but his teammate, David Reagan, didn't make it. I can't imagine Jack Roush is too happy about that right now.
Okay, Jamie, I hear all those excuses, but I don't buy it. I'm just not buying into that one right now. Next time, put some more gas, get a faster airplane. Jack's got the money. Let's upgrade, buddy.
So I always hate it when you forget to carry the one when you're making those calculations. Edwards right now trying to get around Todd Bodine, who's driving that 10 car tonight, Dave.
And Jamie talked earlier about Johnny Benson, the Truck Series winner, being in the race. Bodine finished 3rd last night behind Ron Hornaday, and he's feeling pretty comfortable in this race car. Now he's driving it because Dave Blaney stayed in Sonoma to concentrate on that 22 car in the Cup Series. They weren't in the top 35 in owner points. They did make the race. Dave will race Sonoma and try to get that Cup car program going. But Bodine comfortable in the car, and it's his crew that will pit this car tonight.
Todd trying to hang on to that 5th spot under pressure from Carl.
You see, what I like right here is these 2 grooves that these guys are racing. You see Todd Bodine using that high groove and Carl trying to pass him on the bottom. Even with that new asphalt down on the bottom side of the racetrack, doesn't look like Carl can quite get clear of the 10 car of Todd Bodine.
You know, Andy, it's a great choice having Todd Bodine in that 10 car because last night in the truck race, I mean, you had Johnny Benson, you had Bodine, you had Hornaday. Those 3 guys finished 1, 2, 3, and Bodine flat knows how to get around this racetrack. Todd feels real comfortable in this car.
Going to give up that spot to Carl there. A little faster coming through on the bottom. All this going on behind Eric Almirola, who's been out in front for all of the 11 laps run so far here at Milwaukee. Just the beginning of a night full of action on this old mile track. Back live, Milwaukee Mile, unscheduled pit stop for Stephen Wallace.
We were just talking about how good he's doing. He moved up to 12th position. The car's flying. It looks like they blew a left rear tire or something like that. Got to be disappointing because the car was so good. He was really flying through there. I don't know what in the world happened, but look at there. Left rear tires blowed off the car, so obviously a mistake right now.
Dave, got some confirmation for us?
Yep, that was a flat tire for sure on Steven. He'd already picked up 3 positions on the track, so big disappointment for them. Car moving forward and trouble early.
Most times when you see a left rear tire go down, it's usually contact with another car, knocks maybe the valve stem or cuts the sidewall. It's kind of unusual just to have a left rear tire go down.
Yeah, it's very unusual, Andy, to have that happen.
And
but
you see there, you can see that the letters have been rubbed off the tire, so it's kind of evidence of some contact. Real lucky not to wreck the car.
Yeah, I mean, it was luckier getting across the racetrack and getting down pit road. I'll tell you, that was a heck of a save right there.
Yeah, clear low. Good call. Needed the help from the spotter there. So we'll let the scoring sort out and see where Steven's at, but looks like he's at least 1 lap down and back in 37th place. Should mention quickly that already about a half a dozen cars have pulled off the track and gone to the garage. Think we've seen a little rash of the short field start and park disease here in Milwaukee.
Well, the good thing for Steven, he's only 1 lap down right now. He can get that lap back. I feel confident. That's just so strange that you lose the tire. But Andy, as you said, you know, he passed Marcus Ambrose on the outside. And I don't know if Marcus's right front tire might have got into his left rear and caused that or what happened. But I was just glancing out the window watching how good he was doing.
Well, the good news is it's early in the race and he'll have time to make it up. If he's got a fast car, which it looked like he did right before that happened, he should be able to make this ground up if he doesn't have any more problem.
There's the leader coming up on the back to try and put him another lap down. All Almirola so far. And we were noticing watching some of the lap times, Andy, that his lap times, he and Jason Leffler, the second place car, they're about a half a step ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, they're just a little bit better, but I see that 60 car, Carl Edwards, sometimes on that monitor just clicking off those laps. Not too unusual to see that, but I see him kind of clicking them off too.
8th, 9th, and 10th place here. Shane Huffman in the 88, Johnny Benson in the 1. And just behind them, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 35. Huffman had his best finish of the season last week at Kentucky, that 5th place run. And yet you still kind of feel like here's a guy who needs a result, you know?
And here's a battle for 14th. Got the 22 coming under Marcus Ambrose in the 59. Mike Bliss is going to get him cleared here off the corner. That little contact he had earlier in the race didn't hurt him a bit.
Well, you can see it looks like the right front of the 59 car's bent in a little bit about the 2 o'clock position there, Andy. That's going to hurt the downforce a bit on the front of these cars.
And maybe that's where there was contact between he and Steven that cut the tire.
I would say that probably happened that way. You know, when you see a left rear tire gone and you see the other car just passed with the right front fender bent.
The evidence points that way.
It's kind of pointing that way, you know. I mean, the guy's not proven guilty for sure, but take a look at his 8th place battle. Johnny Benson on the inside won the truck race here at Milwaukee last night, and he flat knows how to get around this racetrack. But another guy, Alan, the 88 is Shane Huffman. We talked about him earlier.
Yep.
You know, he's driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's won a ton of races in the Hooters Pro Cup Series. I expect big things from him. This is his style of track.
Man, they got a good race going on right here with Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the mix.
Yeah, Shane Huffman comes from the short tracks. The speedway type racing has been what he's been having to learn. But he said this kind of racetrack I can make some hay on.
Yeah, he's the most comfortable on this kind of racetrack. I talked to him in the garage, and he said this is one of those that they've always kind of marked on their calendar as being one of those races where they felt like they could be very, very good.
Another guy. You know, we've been talking about all these young Busch Series guys needing to get some results while the Cup guys have been away. How about Hamilton Jr.? Here's a race team that's a Busch Series only team, a Renzi team, 25 and 35 cars. And face it, they have struggled on the bigger tracks against the Hendricks and the Childresses and the Roushers and so on. And a real opportunity for these guys tonight to try and knock off a top 5.
And you know, that's a little bit of a surprise also because Bobby Hamilton Jr. has been so strong in these Busch Grand National cars in the past. But we all know you got to get the right crew chief, the right driver, the right blend so they can get the shocks, the springs, and everything right. And last week at Kentucky, I really picked Bobby Hamilton Jr., Andy, to be one of the players that I thought would get up there and challenge, and it just didn't happen. But I like the way his car looks right now. The front end's kind of down on it. Car looks like it's handling pretty good.
His car does look good. And I tell you, these guys, watching this one car, Johnny Benson, these guys are driving hard 25 laps into the race.
Benson wasn't planning on running this race. You heard the story earlier. The team called him up and asked him if he would. And I spoke with John yesterday in the garage area. John's just having a lot of fun with his racing right now. Won the last 2 Truck Series races here in Milwaukee. He's running well in the Truck Series. He's contending for the championship. He's having fun and just really enjoying his racing right now.
But Ron Hornaday was actually scheduled to be in this car up here, but the 77 car made a little change, and they put their in-house driver, Ron Hornaday, in the 77 and left the 1 guys without a driver. So they just called up an old friend, a guy that does real well up here, and he's doing a great job in this car.
Well, Andy, they're really not running for a driver's point championship. You know, the owner's championship points are very important. Everything in NASCAR is based off the owner's points. And right now, you had Curtis Davis driving the 77 car. He struggled a little bit. Hornaday was already up here driving the truck race and ran real good last night. And hey, it was a good choice to stick him in here. He works for Kevin Harvick full time, and he was already here.
Dave, got some more news from the 66 pit?
Yeah, but it may not be what you're expecting, Alan. After we came down here to check on the tire situation, we ran into Denny Hamlin. Denny, what are you doing here in the 66 pit?
You know, I got a message that Steven wasn't feeling good, so you know, I think they were asking about Eric. So, you know, if they need a driver, I'm here looking for one.
How disappointed not to get in the 20 when you finally got here, Denny?
Well, it's disappointing that we were just hovering over the racetrack while driver intros are going on, and neither the track or NASCAR wouldn't let us land. You know, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time and money trying to get me here, but you know, this is all about supporting Rockwell Automation. They've been part of this Busch Series program with Joe Gibbs for 3 to 4 years, and I think Eric would do just a good job for him. I think taking him out of the car right now would be pretty disrespectful.
All right, Denny being a good sport, perhaps replacing Stephen Wallace here, but not on this pit stop, guys.
Caution out, first time in the race. Trouble off of turn number 4 for the 52 car, Ian Henderson, a Seattle, Washington driver, who's got some troubles.
Looks like he's having some kind of engine problem.
Yeah.
See smoke trailing the car. Oh, he's got a big problem here. Definitely looks like an engine failure.
Well, whenever you get loose like that, there's no flat tires, the smoke's pouring out, it's a pretty good indication we got a bad rear end. It's either leaking rear end grease or he's blowing them engine. I don't see anything coming out of the tailpipe, so Andy, it's coming out from under the car. Might have broken oil line. Definitely laying some fluid down. Look how loose that thing's getting.
Yeah, you got some of those parts, sometimes they'll go through the bottom of the engine, create a little hole.
Oil pan failure.
Yeah, put that oil out on the headers.
All right, so here we go, crew chief. 30 laps into the race. We're going to have pit stops here. What do you think?
Well, it's just right there at that 30 lap mark. I say you probably see them come down here this time. It's going to be interesting to see who takes 2 and who takes 4.
Yep.
And maybe have a couple guys staying out. This might jumble the field just a bit.
All right, we'll expect the pit road to be open this time as the pace truck leads the field by the pit entrance off of turn 4. Pit road here a little different in Milwaukee. The pit entry is actually on the front straightaway. It's not in the middle of turn 4 like it is at a lot of places. It's marked well. They've got a cone out there, and so you can see right there the cone. That's the commitment cone, but it's on the racetrack, so these guys, it's kind of confusing. So lap 31, here come the leaders to pit road. Dave Burns, lead us off.
Jason Leffler gives up second place. They have 4 tires on the wall. Looks like they're going to put all 4 of them on. Tight in the center, loose off the corner for Jason. They'll make an air pressure adjustment. Jamie.
Well, Dave, Carl Edwards said he's real loose, a little tight, a tick tight in the center, but there's a little discrepancy on whether or not he should have taken tires. PK said we need to do it, and Carl said, are you sure? It could be a little soon. You see they put 4 tires, guys, and made those small air pressure adjustments. Let's go to Shannon.
Well, Eric Almirola driving that car, he drove to the pole position today, says he's a little loose in and a little tight off the center. He's going to do 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment, and he's pulling out of his stall.
I saw 4 tires just about everywhere up and down pit road there.
Yeah, I did too, Alan. I really think, though, that was a missed opportunity for some of these teams to get 2 tires, or maybe even like Carl was thinking, just get gas and get back out there. Nice move by Jason Keller's team to pick him up 3 spots, gets him into the top 10. How does a tire carrier do his job on a pit stop? Let's, I won't say ride along, let's run along with him. This Milwaukee Mile has been hosting automotive racing events since 1903. And boy, some of the greats of the sport have come through here over the years. Place has changed a little bit. Ooh, that was close. Track got paved in 1954.
And renovated a couple of years ago. The old covered grandstand torn down, replaced, really modernized it. You like that drawing on the side of the car, did you, Mr.
There's
Petrie?
the old 4-2.
Yes, it was. 1903, they started having auto races here. And check out some of the other venerable stadiums in the state of Wisconsin. Of course, Lambeau Field, 1957, the first NFL game there. Did you know that in the 1930s, they actually had a couple of Green Bay Packers games each year at this racetrack on the infield grass?
Okay, you sold me on it. This is the oldest racetrack in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's a great place with a lot of history. All right, Scott Wimmer, our in-race reporter, running fourth right now. Let's try and bring him up.
Scott Wimmer, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
I got you.
Well, you've had about 33 laps to run. What's the car doing, and where you passing most of these guys at? You're running great out there, man.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't done a lot of passing yet. The car's real tight in the center. Looks like everybody's pretty much running on the bottom, but we made, Pat Smith and the guys made some adjustments right there. I think it's really going to help the car. And this Ride to Race is a long race. We got 250 laps out here and only 33 hits, so we got a lot of changing we could do yet.
Okay, man, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat Smith, Andy Petrie here. You got a copy?
I got you, Andy. Go ahead.
Hey, Pat, were you surprised that some other teams didn't try to get 2 tires or maybe no tires on that stop there for track position? Looked like everybody got 4 tires.
Well, pace is pretty quick right there. I don't think anybody wanted to get off. I mean, I don't think it's going to do anything at the end with enough cars in late laps, so we just got to stay with the Joneses right now.
Okay, Pat, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Andy.
Wimmer running fourth right now as we take a break. Some oil to be cleaned up on the racetrack. Check out the leaderboard. Look who's up in second spot. Well, talked about Rusty Wallace having 5 wins here. A little Rusty Wallace through the years at Milwaukee. Look back. He may not be happy with us for doing all of this.
You guys are mean, man. I'll tell you what.
Nice hairdo, dude.
This ESPN crowd, I don't know about him.
Hey, Scott Wimmer called that the coolest hairdo in racing at the time. We like that better.
That's my corporate look. That's a little better look. The other look was the what they call it, the nuclear hairdo back then.
There you go.
You like that look right there? You held the fastest ASA record lap for 13 years.
Yeah,
that's a
I didn't know
right
that.
there.
My son Greg did some research with everybody here in Milwaukee and said that 5 wins, and you know, this Milwaukee track, yeah, raced against AJ Foyt, and you know, all the greats back here. This place has got, it's so famous, Alan. It's got so many people. You look at Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Joe Ruttman, Sal Tovella. What about those names?
Well, the thing, this track's been around for 100-some years. It's had plenty of time to get famous.
All the ASA guys, all the people from around this area would love running this racetrack. It was always their Daytona, they said.
Wisconsin has been such a hotbed of short track racing over the years. Guys raced 5 nights a week around here. There were so many local tracks, and this place, according to Wisconsin native Scott Wimmer, was, like Rusty just said, their Daytona.
Growing up in Wisconsin, I've been coming here my whole life. Milwaukee Speedway was our Daytona 500. I remember coming down here watching my uncle win a race. Dick Trickle, Rusty Wallace, when he probably had the coolest hairdo around, was winning races down here. So Jim Sauter, you name it, I've watched him race here.
See, we weren't making fun of you. We were backing up what the man said.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, we try to report what we see, and he did. I don't think I knew any better. I didn't know I was supposed to get a haircut back then.
You're too busy working on your race car. I'll help you out there. Scott Wimmer running fourth now, trying to add his name to this list of people who've won at this Milwaukee Mile. Look at it. What a list of racing greats. Somebody goes on that roster later tonight. We'll be right back.
I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee is one of those flat, slick racetracks.
It's a very unique track. Both corners are very different, even though they look the same. They're both very flat, long straightaways.
Wisconsin isn't known for racing so much. I think we're more of a dairy state, but our racing heritage up there is unbelievable.
Growing up racing in Wisconsin, all the history and the tradition that goes along with the Milwaukee Mile.
Milwaukee is probably the one stop on the schedule that I get really excited about every year.
And that's a place that you dream of racing.
Well, Scott Wimmer just one of the Wisconsin-based drivers in the field tonight. You see where they run. Kelly Byers subbing for John Wood in that 47 car. Todd Cleaver running 15th, having a big charity ride tomorrow to raise money for diabetes research over in the Madison area. And Frank Cryer, veteran short tracker, making his first start in the NASCAR Busch Series and doing it here at Milwaukee, the Daytona of his home state. All right, we talked to Carl Edwards during our countdown show and talked about his comments, his kind comments about Stephen Wallace after the race, about not flipping out of when he got out of the car and that kind of thing. I guess Carl's had a little time to think about it. Listen to this.
I did an interview earlier. They asked me, they said, boy, that was sure nice of you to be so kind to Stephen Wallace last week. And I said, yeah, I hate it when guys get out of the car and flip out, point fingers and do all that. And then I remembered afterwards all the times I got out and flipped out after the race. Sounded kind of dumb.
I love that. Carl's a lot of fun. Riding around in second place right now. Stephen feeling under the weather. Denny Hamlin standing by to possibly get in that car. Eric Almirola leads. They're still cleaning up all the oil. Back in Milwaukee, the green flag has just waved. Back up to speed. Eric Almirola leads. Carl Edwards is second. Jason Leffler third. Leaderboard up top. Little lap traffic for the front runners to deal with.
Yeah, Stephen Wallace is on a mission here to get his lap back. He raced Eric Almirola really hard getting into turn one. And I think he was, Eric Almirola was just kind of playing it cool here so he didn't get in a wreck. Just let him go.
Andy, we talked earlier about restarts, how you really got to go and you got to get it done. Now, Steve learned a little bit from last weekend, but he's 2 laps down right now because of that tire. He's got a real fast car, and what he needs now is a caution flag to come out to only be 1 lap down. So jumping out front in that clean air, I tell you what, that rapid car he's driving is pretty doggone rapid right now.
He's got a great car. You can see him getting out away from these guys. Now Carl Edwards takes the lead.
Yep, first lead change of the race right there. He followed that open door through.
Looks like Jason Leffler is also going to take advantage of that situation right there.
Almirola getting shuffled up a little bit in freight train. Dave, we talked about Steve Wallace feeling under the weather earlier. Relief driver still standing by there?
Well, let me, Rusty, what's the best medicine for a race car driver that doesn't feel well?
Fast race car.
There you go. Steven's staying in the car for right now. Crew Chief Bryant Frazier confirmed for me. Denny is on standby. His helmet and gloves and Hans Device are in their pit, but Denny is not there right now. Steven thinks he can go, and he's racing hard.
And let me just re-explain again why it was important for the 66 to get by the leaders there. He's a couple laps down. There are 5 other cars 1 lap down, so he's not going to get the free pass.
He's got to earn one of them. He's got to get one of these back the old-fashioned way, and that's raced by the leader. And then he's got to pass these other guys that are also 1 lap down and get where he's in line to get the lucky dog. If the caution does come out, then he can drive around and get on the lead lap.
Well, if you're ever going to drive hard right now, you got to drive your guts out just for that reason. You got Carl breathing down his neck right now, leading the race. And Steven's just got to stay with it, hit his marks, and hope for a caution behind him, because that's what he needs. But it is a long race. We're talking a 250-lap race here in Milwaukee. That's a long time.
Second, third, fourth, and fifth here. Leffler in second in the 38 as Edwards tries to put the young man another lap down. This is one of those situations where we all like to go ooh, 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 because they got together on the track last week.
Yeah, Carl may not have quite the patience this week that he might have had last week. Yeah. But he's smart. He raced around Steven, and Steven's still going to try to hang on to him here.
All right, so Carl is clear of the lap traffic. Oh, trouble there. Wiggling and wobbling. That's Tim McCready in the Childers 21. Missing something important on the left rear.
And it looks like he got in the left rear too, lost his left rear tire.
Yeah, he's got some real body damage there too, so somebody's definitely run into the left rear of the 21.
Let's check it out.
It's like 2 Camping World cars getting together.
Oops.
Well, 3 wide racing.
It's like Todd Bodine got in the left rear quarter panel of McCready. Now, McCready's a driver that's done very well in all kind of different organizations. Let's take a look at his onboard. See what happens here. Oh man, I'll tell you.
Okay, here's a guy that's this is his 3rd pavement race, and now he's got a left rear tire down. He's trying to figure out what, these are different fields for him. He's probably never felt before.
And McCready, a 33-year-old from Watertown, New York. He's last year's World of Outlaws late model champion. And he was tapped by Richard Childress to be one of his development drivers, but he's got some troubles early in the going here. Now, why was Todd Bodine back there? He was 5th off the pit stops, right? Speeding, exiting pit road. He had to drop all the way back to 28th. before the restart, and he was trying to come back up through.
And that's just how a simple mistake, just speeding just probably a couple miles an hour on pit road, can cost you something like this right here. Puts him back in the back and gets him in trouble, gets his car torn up.
I'll tell you what, that right front, he's going to lose a lot of downforce in the 10 car, and that's really going to hurt the downforce. They're going to have to work on that, Andy, a lot if he's going to stay in this hunt.
Yeah, his guys are going to have to get in there with the hammers and try to hammer that thing out and make something out of that right front fender, because the way it is not going to be as competitive as he wants it to be.
The Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass goes to Mr. Cryer. First driver a lap down, now gets back on the lead lap, and that'll put him 31st place.
Talk about bad luck. We were just watching Steven in the 60 car, Carl Edwards. Carl just gets past when a caution flag flies. And he's driving his guts out to do that, Andy, and he just, son of a gun, you know, sometimes it's just not your day. But, hey, like I said, we're only 49 into this 250-lap race.
But then he can line up to the inside of Carl for the restart, and we can all go, ooh, 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 again. One more time.
Here we go again.
Anybody going to pit?
Oh, doesn't look like it.
All right, so under caution for the second time. The reason for the caution, debris, that tire coming off the 21 car and landing in the middle of turn 3. NASCAR Busch Series at Milwaukee, back in a minute.
The IndyCar Series is in Middle America for the Ethanol IndyCar 250 at Iowa Speedway. And emotions have run hot the last two races as they invade the 7/8 mile High Bank Oval in Newton, Iowa that was designed by Rusty Wallace. The racing will be intense and frantic at over 180 miles an hour. Scott Dixon has the pole. We'll have the action Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And Rusty, we're looking forward to seeing you here in Iowa.
Tell you what, I can't wait to get there myself. I'm hearing all kind of great things. Fast speeds up there. Be heading there tonight for the big race tomorrow.
Have a big crowd, track you designed, right?
Oh, I tell you what, place is sold out. Really neat. It's a neat time going on at Iowa Speedway right now. It's a lot of fun. We built that track, and we got Marty Reed and Scott Goodyear up there calling the race tomorrow, and a lot of great drivers going to be running.
Speaking of a big crowd, look at the crowd here tonight in Milwaukee. The place holds a little over 40,000, and they have filled most all of them. A little bit of room down on the very ends, but boy, what a crowd tonight.
It feels so good to come to Milwaukee, Alan, see a big crowd like that. So many people supporting the Busch Series. They love their racing here, too. And like you said, Andy, we just got a couple of extra seats down to what I call the cheap seats, the Bob Uecker seats down here. Yeah. Turn 1 and 2 at the very bottom.
Yeah, you're going to go from one of the oldest tracks to one of the newest tracks in the country.
Well, technology sure is different. Iowa's had a lot of cool things done to it. Surface-mounted TV cameras. Tomorrow during that IndyCar race, you'll see the cars coming at your big screen television at over 200 miles an hour. You're going to want to duck because those surface cameras are really cool.
Tell you what, this place does have some serious history to it. September 11th, 1903 was the first auto race here. That was 8 years before the first Indy 500.
How'd you do in that race, Rusty?
Oh,
come on, man.
Wow.
Easy, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow. Yeah, that was Andy Petrie. Make sure you know that. Great place, of course, located on the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. The atmosphere here, we had Andy and I took a long walk down the Midway to get to the broadcast booth earlier today, and the food vendors are going on, all those great smells, and they got the, what do they call it, the Skyliner ride going overhead, people up there taking a ride across, yeah, the chairlift. Look at this place.
We had a busy day today. A lot of stuff going on. Practice, qualifying, racing in the same day. But it made you want to go out back and just look at everything going on, and you see the haulers, you see the beer, the bratwurst, the burgers. I mean, just like you said, the aroma. I'm not going to call it odor. I'm going to call it the aroma of all the food. Is just amazing. And what a fun place. You know, one thing I think it makes it fun, it's 70 degrees. There's not a cloud in the sky, no humidity.
Perfect weather.
Perfect weather. Just a great feel up here at Milwaukee this evening.
Talked about all of Rusty's family history here. Well, little brother Mike has had some great success here at Milwaukee as well. 1994, Mike Wallace driving a 9 car in the NASCAR Busch Series. Cars looked a little different then, but he went to victory lane July 3rd of that year.
I remember that day. That car really looked good, but
pink bumper and all.
Boy, did they look different nowadays. You see that thing coming off the corner? It looked like it was a foot off the ground, just hopping and jumping, but making tracks forward. That got that baby in victory lane.
We've learned a few things since then.
Yeah, I'll tell you, crew chiefs, man, you do some trick stuff, you know.
Mike started 20th. He's running 16th right now in this race as we get set to go back under the green flag. So it's Carl Edwards the leader. Jason Leffler second, Eric Almirola third, Scott Rimmer fourth, Brad Coleman's up to fifth. The lap car to the inside of the race leader is Stephen Wallace, who is 2 laps down and trying to get back to 1 lap down. Let's see how it turns out.
They're trying hard. The key restart. We got to have these tires cleaned off.
Leffler trying for the lead.
That's what it's all about right there, racing hard. Boy, you see the fire flying out the exhaust.
Well, right now, Steve's just got to drive his brains out, just like we said earlier. Hope for another caution. He missed it by 1 lap the time before. But I tell you what, back of the pack, they're running 3 wide, and they're getting pretty excited, so it could happen. But see Carl getting underneath Steven right now. Jason Leffler, he's the guy that said, look at me. I got a fast car. This is going to fly tonight. He's right up there in the back of Edwards right now, doing a great job.
That's Mike Bliss on the inside. The Supercuts car on the move. Bliss back in 12th spot, try to pick up 11th. Marcus Ambrose in the 59, dealing with a little lap traffic there. It's DJ Kennington in the 72. You know, we talked about this race.
Little contact there.
Oh, and that's Ron Hornaday hard into the wall.
And there's the caution. Stephen Wallace needed to get 1 of the laps back. And Hornaday, we didn't expect that out of him.
That's not the one he needed. That's not the one Hornaday needed. That's pretty hard crash.
Did not need that at all. You know, he's a guy that flat knows how to get around this racetrack too.
Horny, all right?
Todd Cleaver in the 16, the other driver involved in that contact. And that was a race for 17th and 18th positions.
All right. We got to do.
And you see Ron moving around, taking the steering wheel off inside the car. Ron Hornaday, driving in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for Kevin Harvick Incorporated, called on to drive this race because the team has struggled somewhat in these opportunity races. Curtis Davis has been driving the car, and they just haven't been able to get the results they wanted. Thought they'd put the veteran Hornaday in it to come here and see what they could come up with, and this is what they came up with.
Yeah, just kind of arguing over space right there. Looked like Ron Hornaday wanted to try to get to the bottom, and Todd Cleaver didn't want to let him get there.
Yeah, and if you've never been to Milwaukee before, getting into turn 1 is very tight. It's like one groove getting in, and everybody fights to get to the bottom of the racetrack. And you see that Ron just tried to want to get down there, and Todd stuck his nose in there, and that's the end of it. That car looks pretty destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's used up, but good thing they put soft walls in at this track, because this is against a concrete wall. That hurts right there.
Look at the back end of that car jump
That
around.
hurts on a soft wall.
I watched that, guys. You know what that felt like? It felt like crashing going into turn 1 at Pocono. Man, when you come down that straightaway at 200, boom, right front tire, something goes wrong, it hurts. And Ron wiped the front end out. But if Kevin Harvick is watching, the rear clip is probably okay. I think it just needs a front snout. You might save some money there, Kevin, but I know we didn't want that to happen for you at all, that's for sure.
I think I'd still measure the rear clip, too.
I think he had a little bit of everything.
Good to see Ron get out of the car and walk away from that. Just pit stops at the back of the field. Most of the leaders will stay out. 72, DJ Kennington gets the Lucky Dog free pass, 31st place driver. And we are under caution now for the 3rd time in this race, just 58 laps in. Just a second ago, under this caution, Denny Hamlin's car brought down pit road by Eric Almirola, giving up 3rd place to make the driver change.
I got to tell you, I think that's a bad decision. They're doing this for the sponsor, I hear. But you know what? This kid, Eric Almirola's been running great. It looks like they're going to go down a lap right now for sure. I don't like this. This whole thing is a real tough deal. He's got to be upset. He's doing a great job out there.
It seems like there was some kind of miscommunication, too, because we heard him talking about earlier they were going to leave Eric Almirola in the car, but somebody must have made the decision higher up, maybe, to take him out of the car.
Yeah, but that is really crazy. I mean, you got a guy running in the top 3 doing a great job, and you pull him out of the car just because you're trying to, I don't know what kind of point they're taking.
In a hole here, in a disadvantage.
Yeah, they've
because
killed
they lose
the
a lap.
team now by doing this.
And our reporters will find out more specifically from the team down there about why this decision was made once they finished getting Denny in. But in the meantime, they're having all kind of problems getting Denny Hamlin into that race car. They've already lost one lap and may lose another one here. While they sit there, they couldn't get the insert out that Almirola used and then the insert into the seat that Denny uses. And, you know, it's not an easy thing to buckle a driver into these cars.
It takes so long now to get these guys strapped in with all the safety equipment and all the headrests. And you got to have all the Hans device hooked up and steering wheel clipped on. There's a lot of work that it takes to get these guys ready to go. It's not like just jumping out of the car like they did 10 or 15 years ago. Just throw the belts off and jump in and out.
Well, it looks like he's going to make it. Only lose one lap, I think. The pace car is coming off of 4. We see him firing up right now. Now, look, we know one thing. He's got a fast car. He can get this lap back, that's for sure. And can he win the race? Yeah. Was it the right decision to do it? I don't think so. I don't care if
he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah.
That's going to put him a lap down back in 30th place when we get back to racing. How about our leader in their race so far? Jamie is in Carl Edwards' pit.
Well, his crew was just talking to him about that driver swap because actually Carl didn't realize that Denny wasn't in there at the beginning. So Pierre Cattell, his crew chief, said, that's Eric Almirola. Well, just now he came on the radio and said, hey, Denny Hamlin's getting in that 20 car. And Carl said, wow, that's kind of wild. And then he came back and said, there's going to be some competition, boys.
Well, she's right about that. Jamie, you're exactly right about that one. There is going to be some competition because he is going to be driving his brains out to try to get that lap back.
Well, first he's got to get back on the lead lap. So he's got about 5 cars he's going to have to pass to become the first car a lap down, catch a caution, get the free pass, go back to about 30th in line, and then race his way up through.
Well, pull your belts down because the 66 wants to get a lap back, and so does the 20, and they're going to be bumper to bumper. The race could be on the inside lane, Andy.
Well, the race is going to be on here with these lap cars on the inside. 2 real fast cars with the 66 and the 20.
That's interesting. None of the other cars that are a lap down have doubled up, except for Steven and Denny. So
well, I don't think these other lap cars, Alan, are fast enough to be up there with these guys, and that's why you see them just line up behind them because they know there's going to be the race is going to be on right here.
Now this is where Steven's got to drive smart. He's got a fast car. He can get the lap back.
Yeah, you saw him looking to the right there, watching for when the leader took off.
Yeah, he was.
Right?
You can see his eyes peeled on Carl.
Yeah.
Carl got him that time, though.
The games they play on the restarts.
And now you know at this point these guys don't need to outrun them. They just need to hope for another
Watch this right here. This is the first lap that Denny Hamlin's made in this car, driving into turn 3.
He's come right off the road course out in California, jumped in the car.
That's a real pro that can do that right there.
You're exactly right. And say run wide open down in turn 1 and have confidence in your car. He's holding right in there, looking pretty good.
So Carl Edwards leads, then the lap car of Stephen Wallace, then second place Jason Leffler in that 38, lap car of Denny Hamlin, then now third place runner Scott Wimmer in that 29 car. So Hamlin back in 31st place, 1 lap down, and the second car a lap down.
Yeah, Scott Wimmer saying, hey, don't forget about me. I was fast in practice, qualified good, and I'm coming to the front.
Well, guys, one thing we got to take a look at right now, this practice session all started during the day. It was hot outside, you know, about 80 degrees. The sun's setting right now. The track is cooling down big time. And these chassis are really going to start changing on these cars, guys.
They're going to have to start making some adjustments, I'm sure, as the race goes on, and the track does cool down even more yet.
Leaders all pitted at lap 31 under the caution, have not stopped since. This is the race to be the first car 1 lap down between the 20 and the 66, while the third place car, Scott Wimmer in that 29, tries to find a way through.
And there's plenty of time for both of these guys to get their lap back. We're only 65 laps in this 250 lap or so. Guys, this is where patience is very, very important.
Needs to get on the radio and say, hey, guys, we've got to have a car to finish this race if we're going to do any good. Now, I know you guys want to get up front, but be smart.
Kenny Wallace is not here this weekend spotting. He's out in Sonoma, and I would guarantee he'd love to be in the radio right now saying, take it easy, take it easy. There's plenty of time, Steven, bringing the reins back. But Denny Hamlin's like, man, I can't believe I missed getting in the car. I can't believe I lost a lap getting in the car. He's going to get it back, though.
Yeah, this is a race for 6 on the right side of your screen. You see Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Johnny Benson.
Benson just picking up that 7th spot from Shane Huffman a lap and a half ago.
Scott Wimmer, the 29 Holiday-Inn car. That thing, both practice sessions this afternoon, he was fastest, not by just a little bit, but a pretty good margin, a couple tenths of a second. And he's been every single week our in-race reporter has been getting better and better and better and laying down all these consistent runs.
And you know, when you got a guy that like Scott Wimmer that's from Wisconsin, can a driver just dig down deep and get something extra when you go to a track that you really want to win at?
Well, you sure can. You know, look back. You know, I had a lot of problems every time I go to Bristol. Man, I felt like I could do it there, dude. You know, I go to Martinsville, feel like I can do it. Scott Wimmer gets to Milwaukee, his home track, and he's thinking, man, this is my chance. I got my entire family here. I got everybody looking at me. Man, I'm driving Richard Childress's car. I'm driving the 29 car that Jeff Burton's been winning all year long. He's got a good hot rod, I call it. And I wouldn't doubt he can get in victory lane tonight.
I want you to watch the yellow line at the very bottom of the racetrack and where Scott Wimmer. I'll get back to that in a second. Let's check the race for 8th. That's Stephen Light in the 90, last week's winner, moving up.
He's carried a little momentum from last week. He's had a fast car this week, too. This car looks good. I like the way it looks coming off the corner right there. Got good forward bite. Car's turning well in the middle. Hey, Jamie Little, have you got any more on the 90?
Well, guys, he's been happy with his car, but, you know, coming off his first ever Busch Series win, I don't think he has taken that smile off his face. He said he has no doubt this team can go to victory lane again tonight. On Tuesday, the whole team got together at the race shop. They all had a big lunch. They all celebrated finally getting to victory lane for the first ever time last weekend. So Stephen Light and his crew ready to do it here again tonight, and so far things are golden.
And nothing feels better than getting that first win.
You know, Alan, one thing I wanted to go back and talk about, we talked about the lines of the race drivers out there, different lines these guys are taking. Scott Wimmer, Andy, we watched him in practice this afternoon, and Wimmer's car, he would enter turn 1 much, much higher. Folks, you see the black patch in the bottom of the track. You see the old asphalt in the top. Scott gets down the front straightaway, makes a real late turn in. And you have to have a lot of confidence in your car and able to pull that off. Let's watch this line right here. On the outside of just cutting it a little bit, putting those right side tires out there, and gets a lot of momentum doing it that way.
Yeah, I talked to Scott, and he was talking about how he likes this kind of racetrack where you don't have that just all that grip all the time. The tires go away, it gets kind of greasy, and this is the kind of track he likes. You can move around just like he's doing here. You see him moving up out of that dark asphalt up into the gray, and you know, he can race all over the place, and it does give him these good angles off the corner. And he had a little different line than anybody else in practice when I was watching. He had just a little bit different line, and it may pay off for him.
I asked him earlier, I said, hey, we're going to be our in-race reporter, and I want to talk to you about your secrets. How you get around this racetrack? He said, man, I'm not telling you nothing, buddy. He said, I got a little something going on out there, especially in turn 1, and I'm not going to say anything.
And you still hadn't given up your secrets from Bristol. I don't think he's going to give his up here.
Well, you know what they did at Bristol? They tore that baby up. They just changed racetracks, so I don't think anybody's got any secrets there any longer.
Scott had a little bit of trouble getting his footing under him at the start of the year, but now the results are coming. He says he's got his footing underneath him with the Childress team.
Racing's so much about attitude and being relaxed and comfortable, and I think I finally hit that point to where I'm really comfortable with the people I'm working with, and you know, hopefully the next few weeks I can show that we can continue this and hopefully get our first win this year.
And just as we hear from Scott, he shoots way up the racetrack in turn 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he didn't just get in there a little bit hot and lose the car a little bit, maybe the front end or the back end, but he sure took off up the racetrack, scared me to death.
Well, one thing going on right now, these guys are all running the bottom of the racetrack mostly. A couple of them are going in that second lane, and there's a lot of the tire rubber buildup up in that second lane. So he got that car in there pretty hot, slid up the racetrack, and got in all that rubber, it looks like.
Didn't lose third place. That's Brad Coleman right behind him. Here's another look.
He's doing what you just said, Russ. He's arcing it in there and gets sideways, gets loose on him getting in the corner, and then he does get up into those marbles. Does a great job saving the car. Does lose that spot on the track to the 20, but he's not on the lead lap.
Now he'll get that back. One key thing he needs to do now is not fall victim to saying I got a flat tire, because you get up in this rubber and it builds all this stuff up on the tires and it makes you feel like you have a flat tire, really, when you don't. Shannon, can you add on that 29? What's going on down there?
Yeah, Rusty, there's really not a lot of communication on the radio right now between the 29, but when he did get a little loose in that turn, he came over the radio and said, that was weird. So we'll try to listen in and see what's going on.
Yeah, it was. Can't argue with that. By the way, Ron Hornaday treated and released from the Infield Medical Center after his crash a little while ago. 76 laps of 250 in the books here at the Milwaukee Mile. The championship leader, Carl Edwards, making the 1,800-mile trip from Sonoma pay off so far.
You know the day destroys the night.
What's happened so far? Here's our Holiday Inn race rundown. That's Denny Hamlin, supposed to start the 20 car, circling the track. So Eric Almirola, who qualified the car on the pole, climbs in, buckles up. Denny gets here too late to go racing. And Almirola starts on pole. He led the first 42 laps, Eric did, until Carl Edwards took over at lap 43. And then under caution at lap 59, the team calls the 20 car down pit road. Almirola out. Hamlin going to get in. They lose a lap making the driver change. Almirola doesn't appear too happy as he goes away from the car, and who can blame him? And we'll look to get an explanation from the team on the reason for that call here momentarily. Meantime, Carl Edwards, since taking the lead from Almirola at lap 43, is out in front. He's opened up about a 3.5-second lead on second place, Jason Leffler. There's the gap, first to second.
You know, I hate that he gets so wound up about Eric Almirola getting out of that car, but, you know, it's a good chance for this kid to get up there and really shine. Up there qualifying on a pole, leading the race, but, you know, sometimes the money's pretty important for these sponsors. And if they expected to come see Denny Hamlin race, they want to see Denny Hamlin race. So I guess I can understand that.
Jason Leffler having a great race there in the 38 car, trying to chase down this guy, Carl Edwards.
You know, I'm just having this little flashback of last week where Carl led more than half the race at Kentucky and looked like a walk-off winner, and then all of a sudden it wasn't there. But one thing about these races, they're just not over until the checkered flag waves.
That's why you see these guys, even when they have a big lead toward the end of the race, they're all sitting there. They can't even be happy. They sit up there just like ready to choke because they just know something can happen anytime, even to the last lap.
Now listen, how they say it's not over till the fat lady sings, that's for sure. And the cautions seem to come at the very end of the race. The tension's getting high. These guys are trying to get all the positions they can. Hey, you know, you talked early about brakes, Andy.
Yeah, you can see the brake rotors on this 35 car, Bobby Hamilton Jr., as he drives under Jason Keller.
Nice drive.
Really
for
glowing
Hamilton
red.
Jr.
You can smell the brake pads. You can smell the brake pads when I pulled in the tunnel. You can just smell it. That these guys are using so much brake here.
Hamilton Jr. started 11th. He's up to 5th. Jason Keller in the 27 car this week started 21st. He just got kicked back to 6th. Dave?
And Alan, I went down to his pit to check in with crew chief Duke Moore. I said, hey, did you guys only change 2 tires on that first stop? And he passed all those race cars, and he smiled. We got a good race car, and we took 4 tires on our first stop. Jason complaining just a little bit right now about a tight race car, but in one of his few starts for Bruco Motorsports this season, Jason doing a good job.
Yeah, and these guys changed teams here just before coming to this race. This used to be the team of the 37 car, 37 and 27, just swapping teams in cars.
I talked to Clarence Brewer, the owner of the car, this afternoon. He said, trying to pick up performance. We need a little shakeup. Need to get some things going. Jason Keller knows how to get it done here at the Milwaukee Mile. Just a few years ago, driving that 57 car, Jason Keller went to victory lane. That was Mike Bliss driving the Gibbs 20 at that point, brought the caution out in the late going, and the race ended under the yellow flag. Didn't have the green-white checker rule in place then. And Jason Keller shakes the winner's trophy high in the air on that day. He's got a great record here at Milwaukee. 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and that win was his last Busch Series win so far.
What about those old videos? I love this high def, don't you?
Yeah.
And Johnny Benson, this one car, giving it a great ride.
Yeah.
He won that truck race last night. He knows what he needs to have his car handling good enough to get up there. So these guys really worked hard in practice. I talked to him down there, Chuck Myers and the crew, and talked to Johnny Benson, and they were making a lot of changes on this car. They were tuning on it a lot and trying to get the feel that Johnny was looking for.
Jamie's been talking to him too, like right now. What do you got, Jamie?
That's right. Well, the crew has high hopes for Johnny Benson being in this car. You know, J.J. Yaley has been in this car all season. The best finish, though, they've had is 12. Right now, Johnny Benson, you see him running 7. On that last yellow, he came over the radio and said, you know, I'm really happy I made this choice to be here. I'm really enjoying myself. Now, guys, can I go out and get a hot dog? I think he's having a good time.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend for John so far. Last night here in Milwaukee, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Some early action. That's Kelly Byers in the 21 and Ted Musgrave in the 9. They had a little tangle in turn 1, and it wasn't over with just the one hit.
They definitely had a feud going on, and they took it out after the race was even over. Run up there, watch Musgrave, let's give him a whack. Hey, man, I'm mad. I don't like this. I'm going to drive you into the wall. Ooh, NASCAR doesn't like stuff like that. When you intentionally take it out and shove them in there. Let's take a look at Johnny Benson here, just 23. Another victory for him. Guy's been hot in that Toyota, Andy.
Yeah, I tell you, these Toyotas are hot.
So Benson's second straight win in the Truck Series here at the Milwaukee Mile. Take a look at the top three. All three were in this race tonight. Hornaday now in the garage area after the crash earlier. But Johnny Benson running 7th. And Todd Bodine, remember, had the penalty earlier and the damaged right front fender, and that has dropped him a little bit back in the field. Well, actually, Todd's picked his way back up to 11th. That's not bad.
The guy I'm looking at, I'm sorry, guys, the guy I'm looking at is Scott Wimmer. Look at that, the lap times. I mean, 30.79 compared to Edwards. He's running them down just a little bit. And he's coming through the field right now. So that's this 29 car. We're not done with it yet.
There's Bodine. You saw that 10 car get the right front damaged earlier, Dave, and looks like they've still got some damage hanging out there.
Yeah, and they came in during that caution and repaired that, but that must be since he got back on the track. Not talking about that right now. What he is saying is that the car will really come off the corner. That's what the crew is telling him, but I'm not so sure that's going to continue to be the case. That damage is new.
Yeah, a little front wing going there.
Well, they had some serious contact earlier, and his car actually came off the ground. I'm surprised this car could run this well.
Just moved back into the top 10, passing Mike Bliss, you saw a moment ago while Dave was making his report. Carl Edwards is the leader, 4.5 seconds over Jason Leffler, 93 laps complete, coming up on halfway in this one. Yeah, they have a lot of different types of racing here in Milwaukee. Cars, trucks, and yes, sausages. The Milwaukee Brewers tradition. No, that's not Rusty winning the sausage race. But we could get you in there if you want.
Andy.
Big lead for Carl Edwards. We stay under green here at the Milwaukee Mile. Check some of the news in a busy week in NASCAR racing. NASCAR filing a huge $100 million lawsuit against AT&T over that whole thing with them suing NASCAR to switch from singular to AT&T on the 31 car. And oh, by the way, after NASCAR did that Sunday, Monday, Richard Childress, AT&T, and Jeff Burton announced they had all signed contract extensions together to run till 2010. Good week for Jeff Gordon. Baby Ella Sophia arrives on Wednesday. He and his wife Ingrid, congratulations to them. And then Jeff shows up at the racetrack in Sonoma on Friday, and his car and Jimmy Johnson's are found to be against NASCAR's rules. So they weren't allowed to practice on Friday, have to start at the back of the field for tomorrow's road course race. That's a huge penalty. And the Rockingham track reports this week that Speedway Motorsports is going to put the old place up for sale at auction. Last Cup race held there February 2004. Great racetrack. And it's a shame that it's going to go that way, but
that's
times
one of your
change.
favorite tracks, right, Rusty?
Come on, Andy. Let's
go buy it.
Let's get in our piggyback. Let's buy that baby.
Yeah.
Let's put some type of racing.
Yeah, that's where I got my last win as a car owner, too.
Okay,
so
Alan, you want part of that action, buddy?
You know, I've heard a way to make a small fortune in racing is to start with a big one. And since I don't have the big one.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, oh, it is. It is that. Now, we've been looking to find out from someone at the Gibbs team about the call to put Denny Hamlin in the car and take Eric Almirola out. Shannon's been digging on that story for us down there in the pits. What do you got, Shannon?
Well, Alan, it's been about 40 laps since they made that driver change, putting Denny Hamlin in that car for Eric Almirola. We have asked to speak to someone from the team, and at this time they have declined to comment. We'll wait and see if we can catch up with someone later in the race.
All right, thank you, Shannon.
Looking at the lap times that the 20 car is running, he's running quicker than Carl Edwards. So he's kind of got used to this car and making great laps in it, but he's still just that one lap down that he's got to get back to beginning contention.
Check this out, little race for 13th place here. David Reagan, one of the guys who started at the back because he was not here for qualifying, making the trip in from Sonoma where he's running his Cup car, and he is trying to pick his way through. Got help with some track position on the only pit stop they made earlier.
He's still on the tires that he started the race on. These other guys changed tires at lap 32 and put 4 new ones on, but he just got gas and jumped back out there. So he hasn't even changed tires and still running real well. So he's got a good car.
Fighting David Ruderman for 13th place.
Right now the field, Reagan is about 2 seconds off of what the leaders qualified. That's how much the cars are slowing down with the worn tires. And so, you know, he's holding on for dear life right now, but he made the right call, you know, because we started in the back and just took on that field and was able to gain those positions. But he's dying for a caution now. Get some fresh tires in that thing.
Now, Reagan went to Sonoma to run the Cup car, but David Ruderman did not. Team decision, because of where they are in the owner points, to take a guy with a lot more road course experience than David out to the Cup race. So David came here to Milwaukee to just concentrate on the Busch race this weekend. He understood, but still was disappointed.
I understand, you know, the mentality from a business standpoint. From a personal standpoint, very, very It's tough. Yeah, it's really, really tough, especially to watch somebody else drive something you've worked your entire life to have the opportunity to drive.
I don't know if there can be any more difficult thing for a race driver than to watch somebody else drive their car.
You know, David Rudiman has been the most consistent driver, for the most part, in Michael Waltrip's new team. Making races, running up front, running good, and he needs to build consistency in that team. To be pulled out of it, I understand rational, like you said, but man, how do you build driver confidence, Andy, if you keep pulling them out of the car, missing races, making changes?
I tell you, looking at just that video right there, you can see just how much and how passionate he is about what he does for a living, and it does hurt when they take him out of the car.
41st in owner points. They had to get into the race, put a guy with more road course experience in it, and did get the last starting spot in the race. How about this car in this race tonight, Jamie?
Well, I talked to David Rudiman earlier during qualifying, and he had that same expression on his face. Really bummed out he wasn't in Sonoma to race. He said, we've been struggling this year. We've missed races on our own. They don't need to take me out of the car to prove. We've already proven we can't make all the races, so I want to be there. He said, unless I'm physically unable to race a car, I don't like being out of it. He also told me, I signed a contract to race a full-time series. That's where I want to be. So he's doing what he's been told to do, and he's racing here in the Busch Series and giving it his all. So hopefully he'll come home with a good finish.
It's a tough business. I've been on both sides of it. I've been the car owner that had to answer to these sponsors, and you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes it just doesn't sit well with everybody. And this time, David just got caught on the outside of that. And I know he understands, like you said, from a business standpoint, but it's still from a personal standpoint, it's got to hurt.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that the Michael Waltrip's team needs to look at. Rudiman's a pretty good driver. He's really good. As a matter of fact, if he doesn't get an opportunity to drive this stuff, whether he has a contract or not, he's going to want to get out of that ride because there's a lot of teams wanting to hire him. And they need to understand that. So, David, he's just not in this car because that's his only chance. He's got a lot of opportunities.
Mike Wallace in the 7 taking that spot. Taking the 14th spot.
It's all about road course experience is what that one was about. And not fun for anybody. I'm sure Michael Waltrip didn't enjoy having that conversation with David either. Coming up on halfway here at Milwaukee, Rudiman is running back in 14th place, one of a number of guys in this field that are sons of very accomplished racing fathers.
I'm David Rudiman. My dad is Buzzy Rudiman, probably as cool a racing name as there ever was. He's a racer, first and foremost, race for a living. And then I had the opportunity, to go race with him. My father and I have been in victory lane together. We've been wrecked together. We've been broke together. He's very, very important to me, and he's done a lot for me. Buzzy Rudiman was always the guy that helped me get to the next race. The only difference now is, he's winning championships, and I'm kind of footing the bill on it. And he's still got such a love and a passion for the sport.
This ESPN telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series at Milwaukee is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Vizio. A look at the Castrol GTX lap leaders as we approach halfway. Only been 2 of them. Eric Almirola led the first 43. Carl Edwards passed him then and has not been headed since. In fact, he's got almost a 4-second lead on second place, Jason Leffler. Been under the green flag for a long time, though, and we're going to start to come up on some green flag pit stops shortly. And that brings us to 2 points of discussion here. One is getting onto pit road at Milwaukee under the green, and the other is what you do once you get there. Rusty, this pit entry here is a little different than most.
Yeah, this pit entry is definitely different. It's on the straightaway, actually, Alan. And as you come off of turn 4, you are flat flying, and you got to get that thing slowed down, get it stopped. And the thing I'm concerned about right now is these tires are pretty wore out in these cars, so they don't have much grip, Andy. So when they come down there to that cone, I wouldn't doubt that some of those guys get busted for speeding right at that point.
Now, this would be the point in the race that they would have to watch for that, trying to get in on pit road. But once they get there, these guys have got to think about what they need to do to their cars, because the track's gone through a little bit of a change to this point, and so they have to adjust for that, but they also have to predict what the track's going to do here in the next 125 laps. We're almost halfway, and they want to try to get these adjustments done so they can have their car right for the end. So these guys, this is going to be a critical adjustment period for these cars when they come in down pit road to make that right adjustment.
What are some of the leaders saying on their radios? We talked about earlier the communication about making those adjustments. Let's check in with the leaders pit and Jamie.
Well, Carl Edwards, he was talking about his car being really loose from the beginning on. Well, the sun has set it. It's cooled down tremendously out here. He said his car has great grip. It's obviously tightening up. He said it's just a tick loose, but he has a 4-second lead, so he keeps asking, where is the 20 car? So his crew's keeping him updated on who else is running the same lap times. Let's check in with Dave.
And the 38 car, Jason Leffler, running second. They've been just a little bit frustrated because they've been running fairly well. In fact, crew chief Todd Losey said, actually, that's a pretty good lap when he was giving him some lap times. But they'll try an air pressure adjustment to make that car turn just a little bit better for Jason and hopefully catch that fast 60. Shannon.
Well, Scott Wimmer running third right now told his crew chief he needs a little bit more grip and he needs to turn a little better. Now their fuel window is lap 129, so expect to see him come down. There's a caution on the track, guys.
Trouble, turn 2. Couple cars involved there. 47 is Kelly Byers, 28 is Robert Richardson, and they're not going to have to make those stops under the green flag now.
Now they got the caution, just what they needed.
Just at the right time. Looks like he's Kelly Byers is going to drive away without too much damage. A lot of tire smoke. It looked big, but I don't know that we had anybody make any real big contact.
Let's get the proof.
So we got Stephen Wallace working on this 28 car. Gets into the back of him. And then Kelly Byers just has to slide into a stop, try to avoid all this.
All right, guys, we got spun. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Well, nobody hit anything terribly hard, but...
No, I don't see any damage in any of the cars. They all just spun around. Looks like Steven picked the throttle up real hard to try to get underneath the 28. Got in the back and spun him.
A lot of guys doing a great job getting around all this and not having any more contact, making the mess even bigger.
All right, here come the leaders. Green light at the beginning of pit road. Stops will happen at lap 122. Edwards, Leffler, Wimmer, Coleman, and Hamilton Jr., the top 5. Dave, here they come.
Alan, Jason Leffler wants 4 fresh tires. He wants the left side tires to have less air pressure in them than they had last time. They built up and made the car tight. As Jason come in, brakes sparking on the 38. Jamie.
And Carl Edwards being reminded that he has an open pit box in front and on exit. Come in 4 tires, full fuel. Like I said, he's just a tick loose, but the car is perfect. He came in with a 4-second lead, Shannon.
Well, Jamie, the last 3 races, Scott Wimmer has 3 top 5s, but he would really like to win here at his home track. He says he needs a little bit more, to turn better and a little bit more forward bite. He's going to take 4 stickers, and they are going to drop that track bar about a half round, and he's off.
Oh, Brad Coleman, Scott Wimmer. Watch that pit road speeding there, Mr. Coleman.
Both of these guys wanting to get to the line first.
Yeah. Looks like Scott will hold on to second place, or move up to second place, I should say, after Leffler is going to lose.
Slow stop for the 38 team there. We saw on the screen about 21 seconds, a little more.
Because right before that the pit stop came out, the 20 car of Denny Hamlin and the 18 car of Brad Coleman, teammates out of Joe Gibbs. Those 2 cars were the fastest car on the racetrack, so keep an eye on those guys.
But Hamlin not going to get the free pass here. That's going to go to Todd Cleaver and put him back on the lead lap. Caution number 4 out here at the Milwaukee Mile. No, that's not what we were looking for, was it? Back at the Milwaukee Mile, Carl Edwards leads tonight's AT&T 250 under the caution flag. It's been kind of a drama-filled day for Carl.
Coming this way, he still can pull it off.
He's going to make it. He got 9 minutes.
Coming towards the trailer.
He's coming.
She's pretty good, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Feel her out.
Man, Travis Kvapil standing by to qualify that 60 car. Carl made it obviously in the nick of time from Sonoma. What a day.
What about that? Pretty good, dude. Feel her out.
Yeah,
Got a good car here.
Kept his 9th starting spot. He's leading now, and Shannon Spake has more on the championship leader.
Well, Alan, actually, Carl Edwards wasn't the only one in that plane making a mad dash to try to make it to qualifying. His teammate, David Reagan, in the number 6 car, also was in that plane. I walked up to David after all of that happened on pit road before the qualifying laps, and I said, has your blood pressure gone down yet? And he looked at me and he said, you know what? I'm just mad that Carl made it and I didn't. He had to go to the back of the pack when we started this race.
Yes, he did. But David has recovered well. He's up to 9th spot now.
He's doing real well. 9th position and come from the back with that key pit stop early, Andy, is what really got him up there. That was smart staying out there and just taking gas on him.
They need to get a little chunk right there and try to move up through there quickly. They just took fuel, and that moved him about halfway up through the field, and then he's driven his way up in the top 10.
Under this caution, 1-lap penalty assessed to Stephen Wallace for aggressive driving. And he has been told by NASCAR he can't get that lap back through a free pass. He must earn it on the racetrack. So coming to the green just past the halfway point. Edwards, Wimmer, Coleman, Leffler, Hamilton Jr., then Keller, Benson, Light, Reagan, and Huffman. Those are your top 10. Let's go full throttle for this restart.
Spin the wheels, buddy. Yours. Look at your red line. Just be ready.
All right, come to the green.
All yours, bud.
Truck is off. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Ready. Line. Bring flag. Go. Taking up a little bit.
All yours. You can't get there. All yours. Lulu.
Take car behind you. Still inside.
3 back.
Still inside. You're there. It's all clear. Still there. 1 back on your air. Whatever you need. Clear. Car right down with you. All clear. Still there. All clear. Car in behind him.
Car is now in the dog spot. Got around both of them. 4 back.
Nice and easy, everybody. Still got the 10 car with you.
15 cars on the lead lap, and out of that big scramble on the first lap after the restart, what comes of it is that Denny Hamlin in that 20 car is now the first car 1 lap down, in position if somebody spins in all this big traffic jam to get the free pass and get back on the lead lap.
I got to believe if he's going to get his lap back now, it's going to happen pretty soon because he's up in the front right now. He's got a fast car, and if the caution comes out, he's got it, because I was worried about those Carl Edwards passing everybody so much and putting the rest of the guys' lap down where Denny couldn't get him. Now he's got himself where he wants it.
Well, you can see him driving that car, Denny Hamlin driving that car hard down in the corner, sparks flying everywhere. The one thing they got to do on this last pit stop, though, is to make an adjustment, maybe make that car drive a little more like Denny Hamlin wants it to, because Eric Almirola's been in it all day. This is the first time they've been able to adjust it to Denny's driving style.
A race for position here, 9th, 10th, 11th, etc. 88, Shane Huffman trying to take 9th from Stephen Light in the 90. David Reagan there in the 6th. That's for position also.
That's what I love about this flat track racing. It's more like short track racing where they get side by side, a little bit of beating and banging going on.
Yeah.
They can rub on each other and not wreck each other. Well, at least not always wreck each other.
And on the restarts, they got those new tires, they got that grip, and you can see how aggressive they drive. They really just go for it. And we talked earlier, hey, you know, do you really go for it on these restarts? I'm afraid you have to do that now. You can't be patient. You got to get it while you can get it.
Shane Huffman in 9th. An update on his race from Jamie.
Well, he's coming off that high that he and the team experienced in their season best finish at 5th at Kentucky. But tonight he's having a little throttle issues. Shane's telling the team that the car doesn't want to roll over at the entrance, but on the exit, it's fine. That's of course, his throttle response. He's saying that the car's just not responding when he puts it down for the restart. So the team's trying to talk him through it. That last pit stop, they actually were going to make some huge adjustments on the track bar and air pressure adjustments. And right now, he is running in 9th.
Be nice for him to get back-to-back top 10s if he can pull it off here tonight. Let me correct one thing that I said at the last caution, by the way. Marcus Ambrose got the free pass on that caution, not Todd Cleaver. So Ambrose is now in 15th spot and last on the lead lap. My bad.
Well, hey, we'll give you that one.
All right, I appreciate that.
You're doing pretty good tonight.
And I won't show any more pictures of your big hair then, too.
Well, I appreciate that.
This 88 car is coming to life. We saw him passing these guys on the outside. This car's looking pretty good, so they must have made an adjustment.
David Reagan on the lead lap, 6th car. He's in 11th place. This is David Ruderman, lead lap in 12th. And this is where the racing is right now in this pack, because the front cars have all gotten themselves lined up single file after that restart.
We see Shane Huffman driving under the 25 car here. 25 car of Richard Johns is a lap down, so they're trying to move around him. He's racing these guys awful hard to be down a lap.
You know, we talked for a long time about Shane Huffman. When's he going to start really coming to his own? Last week, a good 5th place finish, and now he's sitting there in the 9th position, and it's been solid throughout the night. Doesn't have a dent on that car. Hope I didn't jinx him on that one.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a dent. He's looking really good. You know, Dale Jr., his new team, this is a team that he's putting his heart and soul to, a new building. It really looks good, and I know that Dale...
Just keep doing what you're doing.
I know Junior really wants his team to run well. It's a single-car team.
Here, Wes Ward, the crew chief on the car, saying, just keep doing what you're doing. They're looking at these lap times, and they like what they see. So just keep doing that.
Shane has never had back-to-back top 10 finishes in the NASCAR Busch Series. He'll have that if he finishes in the top 10 tonight. Talking about David Reagan a little bit, we mentioned earlier how he took no tires on the lap 31 pit stops to get some track position. Now they are on equal tires with everyone else, and the scoring serial on David says to me, nice night. Good call by Mike Kelly.
Well, we talked earlier about if you got to get your car right, you better get it right now. We're under complete darkness. The track has cooled down a ton. The chassis have probably changed. These guys have been changing air pressures, track bars, things like that. So, Andy, I would think that last stop was pretty key.
Yeah, these guys needed that caution to work on these cars a little bit. Still, Carl Edwards has got his car dialed in, and these guys are still chasing him, but maybe they can make some adjustments here and get themselves a little closer.
Talked about...
Start a run here.
Didn't catch all that. Talked about new names in the Busch Series, guys with an opportunity to make a name for themselves. 42 car, that's Kevin Hamlin, former NASCAR Northwest Series champ. And he's been a Ganassi development driver for a few years. He hasn't been able to run that many races this year, but he does an awful lot of testing for the team. And he's one of these guys that feels a real urgency in these few races. That
you can see it right there.
That he's getting behind the wheel this summer to try and show them he can get the job done. Lost a spot to Mike Wallace there. Dave, how about Kevin Hamlin?
And I just checked in with the crew chief, Brad Parrott, to see how this former champion out west was doing. Pretty good so far. He started 22nd, a little tight through the center of the corner. Car didn't want to turn very well. Air lowered in the lefts on that car, and a wedge adjustment as well. But for Kevin, as you said, Alan, this 3-run stretch has been very important to him, gaining consistency. And this so far, by far, the best of the last 3 races that he's run.
Hamlin running in 14th spot now after Mike Wallace got by him. Kevin Hamlin, a 26-year-old from Snohomish, Washington. I hope I pronounced that right. Snohomish, Enumclaw. They've got some town names in that part of the world. Dominant night so far for Carl Edwards. He took the lead at lap 43, and the caution is coming out. Debris on the racetrack is the word I'm hearing. So we'll hold that thought on Carl Edwards. Yellow number 5 is out in this race at lap 144. Well, let's see. Mr. Crew Chief just stopped at 122. You come in again or do you wait?
Ooh, I don't know. I tell you what, you got to think about coming in here. Some of these guys need to work on their cars.
Oh, sorry. Just thinking about this. Guess who gets the free pass?
Oh, I think Carl's been worried about this 20 car.
Well, it's taken him 145 laps to get there, but he's got there. Now, he's got the lucky dog. He's going to go all the way around, get to the back. That's going to put him about 16th.
Yep.
Now he's got to drive through 16 cars now. But you know what? I've been watching the lap times. Edwards and Coleman and Denny, probably about
they're the fastest 3.
Fastest 3, pretty identical speeds.
Oh, wow. So debris on the racetrack, caution out. And we got 105 laps to go. I think I agree with you there, Andy. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of pit stops here. Just 22 laps after the last set. Still got a lot of laps to go, and you got one more set of tires in the pits.
You'll see some of these guys come in there, maybe on the back part of or maybe the back half of the lead lap, to work on their cars and adjust on them. Somebody's got to get a car that can race with that 60 car, Carl Edwards.
Tell you what, you got to hand it to Roush's operation. That 60 car every single week, it's so prepared. They never seem like they're scrambling. They look like they're totally together. And Carl is a perfect match for that team. Pierre has got that car set up right. It never seems like they're working fast. Everything with that team seems like it's in slow motion.
Well, don't see any takers here. Front 10 by the pit entry, so most everybody's going to stay on the track. Looks like David Ruderman's going to be the first one to pit, the 12th place car. Yellow number 5 is out. Now Denny Hamlin comes back around on the lead lap. Back live at the Milwaukee Mile, the NASCAR Busch Series on ESPN2 with 103 laps to go. Carl Edwards has been the man all night, and our in-race reporter, Scott Wimmer's in second behind him.
Scott Wimmer, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
I got you, Rusty.
All right, buddy, you're 147 laps in this race now with 103 to go. You've made a lot of changes, I would think, and the track's changed. You know where you're going to be able to pass this guy at now?
I don't know. That 60 car looks really strong. We have made a lot of changes during the race. We were real tight in the center, and Pat Smith and the guys have done a great job of getting that better. But I don't know. Last week everybody thought Carl had it in the bag too, so we'll have to just wait and see how this plays out. But our Holiday and Chevrolet is chugging along here. Hopefully we can bring it home with a win.
All right, Scott, thanks for talking to us, buddy. Good job out there.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat Smith, Andy Petrie in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Andy.
Hey, Pat, you guys done a great job out there today, or tonight, and you got a car that's really sitting there in position to win. Do you think you got something for him there?
Hope if we get a little better in the short run, after they get a few laps on the tires, we seem to level out with him, but he's about 3 seconds in front of us at that time. So we just need to work on that short run a little bit for the end of the race.
10-4, Pat. Good luck.
Thanks, Andy.
Short run where the 60 is beating the 29 at this point. Carl has been keeping an eye on this race and how it's unfolding from the driver's seat of that car. Listen in.
Who looks like the fastest car? Is it us or somebody else?
Oh, it's you by far.
Who's second?
38.
How's the 20 running? He's gained somewhat on you, Carl, because of all the traffic. He's had an easier go at it. He's right with the second place car. Cut it about in half, all because of traffic.
Carl is crew chief Pierre Cattell and his spotter Bobby Hudson talking about the race situation. They'll know where Denny Hamlin is now. He's in 16th place and on the lead lap with 101 laps to go.
This is just what Pat Smith was talking about. That 60 car just gets that big jump on, gets out there, and then things kind of level out for him. But when he gets that big lead on him, they just can't seem to make it up. It takes a while to catch him.
It makes you wonder if Scott has got lower air pressures in his car or something, because he can just jump out there. Edwards couldn't just get going. Generally, if you have a lower air pressure, that's what really holds you back for a couple laps.
Makes me wonder if Carl's not just getting out there looking in the mirror and saying, okay, that's enough lead.
Yeah.
I'll sit here.
Let me update you on a couple things while we were under that caution flag. Told you most of the front runners stayed out. Some of the guys on the lead lap did pit. David Ruderman, Marcus Ambrose, Mike Wallace, Kevin Hamlin stopped. And then on the next lap of caution, for some reason, a little smoke there from the 14 car, but everybody's okay. On the next lap of caution, Stephen Light and Denny Hamlin pitted. So Hamlin took on fresh tires here under this caution and again restarted back in the 16th position. And he's already picked up 4 spots. He's running 12th, and he's looking for more.
Looking for room right here. Made his own hole.
Let's see. Next guy he's going to race for position is the 99 of Ruderman.
Little contact. Stephen Wallace made just a bit of contact with the wall coming off the corner.
Yeah, that right rear quarter panel got loose on him. Looks like he just touched the wall a little bit coming off at turn 4. Doesn't look like the car's upset or nothing, but you can see he was way out there in that third groove. Up there in the marbles, got too loose out there.
I think from having watched the lap times and things and even listening to Carl Edwards, this is the story right now. How well does Denny Hamlin get through the traffic How quickly can he dispose of some of these cars, catch a caution, catch back up. This is for position. 99 Ruderman is 11th. Hamlin working on him.
He's just taking the high groove, low groove, wherever hole's open, he's taking it. You see him pass the 99 on the outside. Now he's coming to the inside to pass 37 car, Bobby East.
That's not for position. Next car for position will be the 6 of David Reagan. That'll be for 10th spot. There's David right there, white and black 6 car.
And that's a good field. When you got a car that's handling that good, you could dice yourself through the field. He's behind. Look at that. Oh, barely cleared Richard Johns. That was a close one. He's on the throttle. But look at the brakes in the front. They're cherry red. You can tell he's really driving hard, driving that car in the corner deep. And you know, you said early, Andy, brakes, you got to watch these things. 96 to go.
He's in a position, Denny Hamlin's in a position, he has to make up some spots here. He's going to have to abuse the brakes a little bit, abuse the car, get up there, and then hope he's got something left for the end.
I'm just sitting here trying to decide if he wants a caution quickly or if he wants to let it run for a while. I would say the way he's passing these guys, he wants to let this run for a bit and get rid of some more of this traffic before he gets to yellow.
Here's some more spots. Here's some more lead lap spots.
Yep.
This is a 2-for-1 special off turn 2 right here.
He's been really good in his long runs and good in his short runs too. And you can tell he's not even messing with the inside of the track. He's just committing to the outside, going for it, and he's carrying momentum, and he's not letting anybody slow him down right now. So, you know, I tell you what, with 95 to go, these guys got another set of tires in the pits. They get another caution. They're probably going to stick those babies on. Then it's going to be a race between the 60 of Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin. But don't rule out Scott Wimmer and Leffler or Coleman, because those three have been very strong also.
You bring up a point we'll get Shannon to follow up on. Does Denny Hamlin have another set of tires in the pits? He stopped there. These leaders didn't. Do they have a set of new tires in the pits? They might have some scuff tires, but that's a good question. We'll follow up on that. Man, what a day it's been for Denny Hamlin so far. Started practicing his Nextel Cup car out in Sonoma. Oh, and by the way, had a really fast race car. He's going to start in the back tomorrow, but he's got a fast car. Didn't make it here in time for the race. Almirola, who qualified the car, strapped in because Hamlin had trouble getting the helicopter landed. They decided at lap 59 from third position to pit the car, bring Almirola out, put Hamlin in, lost a lap making the driver change. It took him a long time to get in position to get that free pass, but finally at lap 144 he got it. And now he's back on the lead lap and he's moving through the field.
And we heard that the helicopter problem, he's out there in the helicopter trying to land. They've got the spot all opened up for him. And when the helicopter comes in, a couple cars pull in.
And
right in the middle of the parking lot. He can't land because something went disarray right there. But he's been a trooper. He has piled through the field right now, and he is on fire. He's up in 8th position right now.
Yep, just past Johnny Benson.
Shannon, you got more?
Well, last year he started at the back of the field and made his way up all the way to second place. Now he does have one set of scuffs and one set of sticker tires left in his pit stall right now. He comes over the radio to his crew chief and he says, please keep telling me what position I'm in. Guys, he thinks he can win this thing tonight.
The way he's driving, I don't blame him.
Well, and he also had a chance to adjust on his car. He had one more adjustment there. When they got their lap back, they made a pit stop, put tires on, and also had an opportunity to make another adjustment. It looks to me like they made the car better.
What about Eric Almirola sitting in the truck watching this on television right now thinking, that could be me?
Those two cars in front of him are for position. The 10 of Todd Bodine, subbing for Dave Blaney here tonight, and the 27 of Jason Keller. Bodine is running 7th. Keller is running 6th. There is Carl Edwards in turn 3. And as he comes off 4, we'll watch that gap all the way back and show you how far behind Denny Hamlin is and why after he picks up a couple more of these spots, he's going to need a caution. There it is. That's almost a half a lap.
Carl Edwards.
No. Did he get the right front fender there?
He may have.
Looks pretty clean.
Well, he hadn't yet anyway, maybe.
Just when Todd Bodine was sliding off the corner there, couldn't see if he came back down into Denny or not, but it looks like things are clean there.
This guy's racing hard, but Carl Edwards and Scott Wimmer are really kind of going toe-to-toe on lap times. You know, Carl just gets out there, he puts that gap, and then they just run the same lap times, the 60 and the 29. But I think the race is going to be when this car right here, the 20 car Denny Hamlin, can get up there, and these guys get back on equal ground with tires, it's going to be a race.
Just got around Jason Keller for 6th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. just ahead, riding with him in 5th place, watching that 20 car slice through the field. Man, what a nice job tonight for this 35 team in Hamilton Jr.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's trying to make the most of this opportunity we've been talking about with all these Cup guys not being here. And they got a great team, a great Busch team, standalone Busch team that does a great job. But they, you know, they got to go against these Cup teams really that run these Busch cars, and it's tough.
Low of 11th for Hamilton Jr., high of 4th. Very solid race for them tonight, running in 5th. But right now, the show is Denny Hamlin. Coming up through this field, back on the lead lap. Can he get up there and give Carl Edwards a run for his money and for the big trophy? Caution has come out here at the Milwaukee Mile. Scott Lagasse Jr. has just crashed in turn number 1. Yellow flag out with 85 laps to go. It was a heavy hit. He obviously does not look happy about things. Ooh.
Gets a little help from Todd Bodine.
Man, that started back on the front stretch.
I was trying to say, it was way early in the straightaway. Boy, hard hit.
So will the leaders pit here? The answer is yes. Dave Burns.
Jason Leffler coming in third. He said, my car needs side bite. They will achieve that with an air pressure adjustment, less in the right rear. They'll also make a chassis adjustment to try to help Jason move toward the front. Jamie?
Carl's happy with the car. They're going to take a half pound out of that right rear. He said he was just a tick loose. He's going to get 4 tires, full fuel, guys. His eyes are on the 20. He said from the beginning, this is where the competition's going to be. Guys, it's going to heat up. Shannon?
Well, Scott Wimmer in that 29 car, they're going to go down on the track bar. He says the car just needs to turn a little bit better. They're giving him 4 tires and fuel.
Mike Wallace is going to use a little strategy to get out quickly. Stephen Light going to get out quickly. And look at this. Wimmer out ahead of Edwards. Hamlin, Coleman. Edwards losing 6 spots on that set of pit stops. Strategy.
Bad time to make a mistake.
Oh, man. What happened? We'll follow up when we come back. But right now, Carl Edwards has been the man all night. He's going to find himself back in the field and watch Scott Wimmer's crew get the job done for Richard Childress Racing. We're coming back for the restart. So how did Carl Edwards lose 6 spots on the pit stop, Andy?
Well, it looks like these guys are having a pretty smooth stop at this point right here. Everything's going normal. And here we get this guy right here. See, he can go around the car, slipping some gas, and fall down. That just cost him a little bit of time. And it upsets you a little bit when you're a tire changer. That kind of upsets your rhythm. Costs him some seconds and spots. Very valuable at this point in the race.
Not to mention you just took a dump on the concrete and you know,
and it was,
knee or something.
And it was on national TV.
And you can tell that the left front guy was done. He's changed his tire. He's stand back. He's looking back at the left rear like, what is going on? Didn't know that he fell down and spun himself out back there.
Log on to ESPN.com and search the word safety for more on pit stops and technology and oh yeah, that protective equipment the driver's wearing in case he does take a dump on that concrete.
I've been a rear tire changer, and I can tell you firsthand that this is it's definitely a thing you got to watch for. And you come around, there's a puddle of fuel, you slip in that, and you just can't get any traction at all.
So we got 2 teams that played some strategy on the pit stop. Mike Wallace is the leader, and Stephen Light is second. Then you've got Scott Wimmer first off pit road. He's third. Denny Hamlin is 4th. Brad Coleman is 5th. Jason Leffler is 6th. Carl Edwards is back in 7th place, followed by Hamilton Jr., Todd Bodine, and David Reagan rounding out the top 10. 18 cars in all on the lead lap. And things have taken a turn for the better for our in-race reporter, Scott Wimmer.
Scott, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us? Scott Wimmer, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
Got 10-4, I got you.
Car getting any better?
Well, I tell you, these guys are doing a great job in the pits. That's definitely making my job easier, but looks like a couple guys opted for 2 tires, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this plays out.
Scott, it looks like you're the only guy with 4 tires. Those guys in front of you played some strategy and stayed out of 2 tires, no tires, stuff like that. Looks like this might be your opportunity to strike and to get some clean air and get out of Dodge. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely hope so. I think we saw when Carl was out front, he was able to get quite a lead there, and it's just really hard to pass and really hard back here in traffic, but 20 car's been really quick all night too, so hopefully we get by these guys and maybe get it strung out and get away from Carl.
All right, Scott, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat Smith, Andy Petrie again. You got a copy?
Got you, Andy.
Hey, you had a chance to get your hands on the car there. Did you make any adjustments to it, and do you feel like you got it where you need it?
Think so. Like I say, he's just real good in that clean air out front, Carl was. I don't know if we have anything for the short run, but we definitely level out. We're still a tenth off in the long run there, so hopefully we fix that. We took
10-4, Patty, is this your last pit stop?
I think so. We'll see how it plays out here, more than likely.
Okay, have a good race, Pat. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Scott Lagasse Jr. involved in the accident that brought out the caution a minute ago. He's with Dave.
And you know, Alan, how sometimes we show the drivers the replay if they need to see anything. Scott, I gave you that offer. What'd you say to me?
I don't need to see a replay. When the rear tires are spinning in the middle of the straightaway, that's uncalled for. We were just riding. We got a little behind early and got it freed back up there and working on it. Brian, Patty, and the guys did a great job getting it freed back up for me. And I actually just moved up second groove, let him go. Spotter told me he was coming, and I don't know what. I mean, you know how that is. This uncalled for. I got to thank Wrigley's and Juicy Fruit, Chip, Felix, everybody for giving me this opportunity. We had a good car, qualified real good, and we're racing, just got behind there. So anyway, no explanation.
Now, Scott's okay. That's the best news. They were actually trying to change their luck. They strapped a character from the Shrek movie, Donkey, into the car because another character hadn't done so well for them. I don't think Donkey's going to be making any more rides in the 41 yellow car either, Alan.
All right, David, so here we go on the restart with what will be 79 laps to go. The leader's Mike Wallace, second car in line in that outside lane. 7 car, fuel only on his stop. 11 is tail end of the lead lap. That's Mark Mitchell. This could get interesting. Look at Stephen Light jumping to the outside. 90 car, 3 wide. Four wide behind him. Holy cow.
You got the 20 car Denny Hamlin, Scott Wimmer side by side, probably 2 quickest cars in the field besides Edwards. But you got to scramble up front. No tires, 2 tires, gas only.
Guys trying to get their laps back.
Oh, by the way, and the guy that's dominated most of the night is trapped in behind all this. And remember how easily things can get jammed up on a restart. Somebody crash and sweep you up in it.
But don't look now. Denny Hamlin has cleared everything on the outside again. He's going for the front, overhauling everybody.
That's for the race lead, 20 in the 7.
What a job he's done to get his car up here. Takes the lead for Mike Wallace on the high side.
Tell you what, that new asphalt on the bottom, you think that's where they'd run, but Denny's got a lot of grip on the top side of that old asphalt, a lot of momentum. He sets aside.
Trouble for the championship leader, Carl Edwards. Flat, what is that, right rear?
Right rear.
Right rear tire. Remember we talked about being back there in all the traffic. Oh, Jamie, they must be just sick right now.
They are. They weren't over that last pit stop where their man fell. They were still watching video when this happened. They ran out. He wants right side tires. He had 1 set left of stickers. Carl Edwards is out and away, guys. What a change in the race.
How did it happen?
It's hard to say exactly. It looks like he's already got a flat tire, just trying to get out of the way. He could have just run over some debris on the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't see any contact whatsoever there. I don't think he had a problem there, just a flat tire. But I'll tell you, when you talk about the guy flying, Denny Hamlin, and he just outrun the field by 0.6 of a second that last lap. I mean, he's in his own zip code right now. I mean, this guy is just smoking the field.
This guy that was a lap down just trying to claw his way back on the lead lap, and all of a sudden here, he's the man to beat.
Okay, maybe I'll back up and say, that was a smart decision, putting Denny back in the car. Okay, that's okay for me to say that, right?
I was getting ready to bring that whole discussion thing up again.
I can read it in your eyeballs.
No.
I was just really sad for Eric Amarillo pulled out of that car, but Denny is flat putting it on him right now.
4th and 5th.
Hey, this is an opportunity, though. We're talking about the last 3 weeks being an opportunity. Brad Coleman has moved up into 3rd. Could it be Coleman? You know, Light is in the top 10. He's running great.
Denny
Hey, this thing
Hamlin's
isn't over.
teammate. These guys have very similar race cars.
Yep, Brad Coleman in the 18 is running 3rd. Jason Leffler just took 4th away from Scott Wimmer, so their car not handling as well as they needed it to, and he's fallen back now to 5th place. Waiting for the scoring to sort out on Carl Edwards. He's 24th now. Give me a second to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's the 9th car 1 lap down.
That's tough to get the lucky dog under those circumstances, that's for sure. So I'm not saying his night's over. I'm not going to do that. You know,
No.
I've learned not to do that.
We already learned that from watching this 20 car.
We learned that, yeah. I thought the 20 car was in trouble too, but, you know. So the Rockwell Automation guys, this is our world headquarters. They got a lot of folks here watching in attendance tonight, so, you know, they wanted to give them a good race. They're getting it right now because no matter what happens, the kids put a heck of a race on.
Oh, Shannon, it's all worked out for them now, huh?
Well, Alan, it has been quite a night for that number 20 car, and he is one driver who is very happy a caution did not come out when Carl Edwards came down pit road. This is what we heard Denny Hamlin and his crew chief, Dave Rogers, discussing during that last caution.
How many laps can we go on fuel? We can go at the end. I don't know exactly how many we can go here, but we're plenty good. Yeah, for long run, man. God, we need a long run. We get a long run, we'll win it. No questions asked. Whatever comes our way, buddy, we got to win it. I don't know.
And moments ago, Dave Rogers came over and told Denny Hamlin, there are a lot of cars between you and the 29. Save your brakes, save your tires. He's currently 3.4 seconds ahead of the number 7 car.
Checking out Denny Hamlin in the last 40 laps where he's come from. Now, here's the guy I want to keep an eye on. Remember I talked about him being 9th as far as cars 1 lap down. Carl Edwards, he's already passed 5 of them. That was one of them right there, Richard Johns in the 25. Next for him to catch will be Kyle Krisloff in the 14, Mark Mitchell in the 11.
22, still there, clear. Clear high if you need,
And Chase Miller in the 9. If he passes those 3 cars, he's the first guy 1 lap down. There's one of them right there, the 14.
Here's a guy that went from defense. He's had the lead on defense. Now he's on offense. He's got to go out there and dig.
Wow. Jamie, got some visual evidence for us?
We sure do, Alan. Add insult to injury. You know, they had that incident on that last pit stop that cost him 6 positions. Then he went back out for 1 lap and a cut right rear tire. You can see the little indentation right here. Carl came over the radio and said, I saw a piece of metal fly off of somebody's car that went to the right rear, gave him a flat. He came in and had to take those 2 tires, which of course played into the hands of Denny Hamlin because the caution did not come out for the debris.
Man. And that by the fact that the cut is on the bottom of the tire, not the sidewall. It wasn't contact with another car. It was just he ran over something on the racetrack.
You know, Alan, I've seen you many times put your hand on top of that tire to show those holes.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Jamie's got a lot better manicure than you do.
Yeah, well, that's why she wouldn't be doing that then. plus, that tire's kind of hot. She's a lot smarter than I am, too. What you don't see is after the camera goes off, I'm sitting there going, shaking that hand, looking for some ice.
Chase Miller in that number 9 Ray Everham car. People say, what's he thinking, you know? I tell you what, if I saw Carl Edwards coming right now with the steam that he's got, I think I'd be getting out of the way because Edwards is flying trying to get that lap back.
Good race for position here. You've got Jason Leffler in the 38, Brad Coleman in the 18, Scott Wimmer in the 29, and Todd Bodine in the 10. And that is for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. As torn up as that right front fender is on Todd Bodine's car, they've had a great run. I can't believe the car's handling as well as it is.
Take a look at that 18 car a little bit here. I thought I saw that thing come by with the rear calipers glowing red.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Todd's done a great job here. He's got the car torn all to pieces, flew up in the air when he had contact early in the race, and just hung right in there. Still got a fast car.
Dave had some contact starting that last caution a little while ago, still having a solid run.
Yeah, and they've been happy enough with it that they really haven't spent any time, wasting, if you will, time on pit road, working on that right front fender. Todd just keeps driving it. And one thing to keep in mind, on lap 163, he was passing Jason Keller for 7th position. And they told him, Todd, remember that high line for later. He passed on the high side, and that continues to be something, if he doesn't do it in every car, he has in the back of his mind that works. Shannon?
Well, Dave, just when you thought it was going to get a little easier for Denny Hamlin, the team brought out these fans to cool down these tires. These are the tires that just came off this car. They had 15 laps on them. They're hoping to cool them down just in case they need to put those back on the car. Well, when they put the fans on, they blew the generator. Crew chief Dave Rogers lost his PC. They lost all transmission on their pit stall here. They have since regained the power, but more drama happening down here in the 20 stall.
It's never an easy job, is it?
No, they never come easy. I'll tell you, I've been down there many times in those kind of situations, and you're trying to do some extra things and then blow the generator. That happens a lot, more than you think.
That's for second place. Jason Leffler around Mike Wallace. 38 car up to the runner-up spot.
Tell you what, Mike's doing a great job. Third position right now, hanging on with the pit stop he made before. A lot of guys put tires on. He didn't. And that car is running a lot better than I thought it would without tires. I mean, so he's
makes
doing
the most of that move.
Yeah, he did. He does a great call by the team to do that.
He took tires at lap 145 when most everybody else stayed on the racetrack. Then they just took fuel only at 166 and took the track position. Nice call by the crew. Denny Hamlin out in front of Jason Leffler by nearly 7 seconds. Carl Edwards almost caught up to the couple of cars he needs to pass to race for that free pass if the yellow comes out. Don't go away. Larry Dixon's 39th career top fuel win and Gary Scelzi's first funny car victory since 2005 made for a pretty rowdy victory lane of legends. A couple of weeks ago in Joliet, the veterans trying to keep their momentum at the NHRA Super Nationals at Englishtown. It's the ProCare RX NHRA Super Nationals qualifying beginning after our race. And finals starts at 10 Eastern tomorrow night, all here on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. Englishtown, great setting for a drag race. Been doing it there for a long time. It's always fun. Well, there is your leader, Denny Hamlin. He documented his night, not starting the race, the driver change, waiting a long time to get back on the lead lap. Well, then fortunes turned around for him and Carl Edwards, who had an unscheduled pit stop, a cut tire, but he's working his way back up through the traffic. See the red car there, the 9, that's Chase Miller. He is the first car one lap down. Brad Coleman behind him in 4th place in the 18, and then Carl Edwards. When the 60 passes the 9, he's the first car one lap down and in position to get the free pass if the yellow comes out.
There's still plenty of time, 57 laps to go.
Yep.
Still plenty of time to get in contention again.
It'll take like 2 cautions for him to get back up and be in contention and win this thing against Hamlin, because even if he gets that lap back, folks, he's going to have to start back of that longest line, and that's going to be a long time getting back up, because Hamlin just proved to us that when he got that clear, he just set sail on everybody.
Here it is. Chase Miller driving the Evernham 9 tonight. First car a lap down in 16th place, but not for long. Solid drive for the young man. Let's give him credit for that, but there is Carl. Well, let's stay out of the marbles now.
Where is the leader? How close is he to put somebody else a lap down?
1/2 lap. 1/2 lap.
And see, Carl from inside the race car wanted to know the situation.
He's trying to get it out quick, too, so he can get back to work.
Yeah, Carl's got that computer running inside his head. Like, where's he at? He knows what happens. If he starts lapping other people, he's not going to get his shot.
Mentioned Brad Coleman a minute ago, the 18 car running 4th, Rusty, having a great night.
Yeah, he's having a great night. He's really running good. But one thing I've noticed about that car, I've been watching it lap after lap. You see the front brake rotors glowing on a lot of cars. But on Brad Coleman's car, you've been seeing the fronts and the rear glowing a lot. And you can see the rear rotors really lit up on that car. He's got a lot of rear brake. That's where you can adjust how much pressure's on the front brake versus the rear, adjusted into that car. So that's kind of a nervous situation. When you go in these corners this hard and you have that much rear brake, if you get on a little too hard, it can lock the rear wheels up and slide. You know, I believe if I was his crew, I'd say, hey, what's those brakes feel like? They're all a little redder than I want to see him looking, Andy.
He's doing a good job with the car. And the brakes are glowing red on the back end. You don't normally see that, but he seems to be handling it very well and not causing him any problems. He's running in the top 5.
Yeah, he's having another solid night. Finished second at Kentucky last Saturday. And this kid in just one of his first 10 NASCAR Busch Series races is really learning a lot, maybe about these brakes. It's something he's learning tonight. Talked to him earlier in the weekend about what's the biggest lesson this year.
Biggest lesson I've learned is track position is everything. I mean, in ARCA, if something happens and you go to the back, I mean, you can work your way up to the front pretty easily, but here in the Busch Series, the competition is so high. I mean, we started 7th last week, and it was just so much easier than starting like 20th or 25th and having to work your way up. You just cruise when you're up there in the top 10, and I mean, we learned that qualifying is everything.
Well, Brad Coleman doing a remarkable job for being such a young man. And in just his 10th NASCAR Busch Series race, looking for what would be his 3rd top 10 finish. He's in good equipment. But he's obviously got the talent to do something with it.
Yeah, but you know, he can be a good equipment, but he's got to be able to drive the car too. And the kid's been driving a car, and the thing I like about it, he's not tearing anything up. He's been consistent. He's been courteous on the racetrack, and evidently he's really giving good feedback to the team. I like it when I see these young drivers not getting all the experience they can. You know, it's key, Andy, when you just get out there and make laps. Get all the laps you can. But what's really good laps is when you're up there in the top 3 getting that experience. That's pretty good.
And here he is in the top 5, running 4th. And he doesn't have any marks on his car. For a young guy, that says a lot. Shows a lot of maturity that he can come out here and run as good as he's running, run as hard as he's running, and not get into anybody, not put a lot of marks on the car.
Alan, one thing I've been watching is the top 6 cars. Well, actually, the top 7 cars now with Bobby Hamilton picking up what I'm about to say. Almost identical lap times. These guys are all within about 1/10 of a second. That's the closest I've seen the field. The track's definitely cooling down. We got 49 laps to go, and I don't see anybody dominating. You know, I see Denny Hamlin at 30.98. Reagan back in the 6th place, running the 31.03 right now. Very, very close times.
Carl Edwards is flying.
He is. He just passed the 29 car, Scott Wimmer.
He needs a caution so badly.
And Carl Edwards running the 30.60, 3/10 faster than anybody. So you can tell he's on a mission.
He needs a caution badly because, A, the laps are running out, but B, the leader, Denny Hamlin, is beginning to close on putting another car 1 lap down. He's got a few seconds before he'll catch Mark Green in the 70, but once he does that, then Carl's got to catch the 70 to get back in position for the free pass again.
Okay, which one of these guys, the 20 of Denny Hamlin or Edwards, the 2 Cup guys we're talking about here now,
yeah,
they're going to go back home tonight. Going to take about 4 hours to fly back to California. You know, a big old trophy in the back seat of those airplanes makes you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Which one's going to get it, Andy?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's hard to tell right now. I'm just watching. Denny Hamlin looks really good.
Might be
If
Brad
it goes
Coleman,
green,
though.
I'd say he's got a good shot at it. But if they get a caution and Carl Edwards gets this lap back, it's game on again.
Tell you what, one guy we haven't been talking about too much all night long is the 38 car of Leffler. Why? He's been up front all day long. He's been second almost the entire race. About time we get talking about him.
But he hasn't been able to challenge the leader. That's the thing. When Carl was leading, he wasn't able to get up and challenge the 60 for the lead. And now Hamlin's leading, and he's 8 seconds behind him. He's not able to get up there and challenge him for the lead. So he's best in class right now. But obviously the class of the field are Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards. Just haven't been able to get them together on the lead lap to race each other. Yeah.
They have put on a show for us, though. I'm glad they came from California to do it. They came from the back, the 20 car. Denny Hamlin came from the back, put on the show, and now Carl Edwards loses a lap, unscheduled pit stop, and now he's putting on the show.
That's 8th place right there. Mike Wallace just lost that spot in the 7 to Jason Keller in the 27. But Mike's strategy, the team, not too bad. He was in the top 10 car earlier, so they got up there and they got a shot at a top 10 finish here.
This 27 car of Jason Keller has really looked strong. We hadn't talked about him a lot tonight. Do you have more on him, Dave?
Yeah, and Andy, he fell back on that last round of pit stops with everybody taking 2 tires or no tires or whatever. They restarted 12. So he has driven his way back up through the field and doing very well. Jason picking up spots here at the end. As far as the 10 car for Todd Bodine, the good thing for him is that his crew was always planning to help Dave Blaney drive this race car. Driving for Bodine was just a bonus, but his truck crew was going to help him all night. And they've done that. They have not lost in positions on pit road. That's a big pickup for the 10 team. Whoa, as they have a little trouble getting around Eric McClure. But as the 10 crew had a little trouble last week, this is not the same one. The 10 team on pit road has kept Todd Bodine in this race.
And that's a race for position. Here's a race for position as well. It's Jason Leffler and Scott Wimmer for second.
Look at the hands inside the car of Scott Wimmer fighting that car coming off the corner.
Yep.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, Scott's did a great job in his car. I mean, he has been so consistent with children. If you looked at his finishes, almost all top 5 finishes for several weeks now in this car. Been really consistent.
Well, you know, I mean, there's frustration there at not having yet won, but let's face it, these races, they're tough to win. And you know, the old saying, but they get to be old sayings by kind of being true. You keep putting yourself in position to win, it's going to happen. And they keep putting themselves in position to win.
Every single week. You know, the 38 car of Jason Leffler, look how great he's running tonight. And you think about Toyota, all the problems they've had in the Cup Series this year. They haven't seemed to have those problems in the Busch Series. They've had good horsepower. They've handled good. The 38's been very consistent week in and week out. And with Richard Childress leaving Scott in this 29 car as long as he has now. He's building rhythm with that team, and you see it every week getting better and better.
Scott Wimmer's driving the fire out of this car, I'll tell you. His hands are going back and forth inside there.
His Daytona, Wausau, Wisconsin, the hometown. Wants to win here very badly. Obviously going to be tough to come out on top of Denny Hamlin tonight, but he just took over second spot. We've seen races before where the guy with a big lead has trouble in the late going. Got a long way to go in this one still. 40 laps to go for Denny Hamlin. It's been a two-man race tonight, but they've not really been racing together. Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards. Carl dominating the race, then having troubles. Hamlin coming into the race late, now being out front. ESPN's presentation of the NASCAR Busch Series at Milwaukee is brought to you by Aaron's. With over 1,400 stores nationwide, everyone's a lucky dog at Aaron's. By NASCAR Hot Pass, only on DirecTV. And Castrol GTX High Mileage, superior oil burn-off protection for cars over 75,000 miles. And a look at our Castrol GTX lap leaders with 35 to go. Carl Edwards has spent the most time out in front tonight. And you see the Almirola Hamlin thing, which leads us to an interesting discussion point. Should Denny Hamlin take the checkered flag first in this race, he will not get credit for the win, as I understand how these NASCAR things work, because he didn't start the race.
It goes to the win and the points. Everything goes to the man that starts the race. And Denny Hamlin didn't start the race. Eric Almirola did, so it'd be a funny way to get your first win.
He may be going to get his first NASCAR Busch Series win, and I'd be interested to see how he would feel about that.
So that's kind of what happens during the 24 Hours of Daytona, right?
Yeah.
We got 3 different drivers, and they're all winners. So maybe that's going to happen here for the first time in a long time in the Busch Series.
It's
still 33 laps to go before we find that out.
It's going to be one to talk about, that's for sure. There's Carl Edwards back of the screen, coming up on Denny Hamlin. About a half a straightaway to make up. He is in position once again to get the free pass, as Edwards has passed all the cars that Hamlin put a lap down recently. And Carl may come up and just unlap himself on the racetrack, but he's running out of laps. Man, that's got to hurt.
It's not just good enough to unlap yourself at this point. You got to get back on the lead lap, and then you got to pass cars to try to get up there in contention. And we're running out of time.
It has got to hurt to have a car this dominant 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, we've still got laps left, but potentially not get. Wow. That's making room. Excuse me, I'm in a hurry.
But, you know, he consistently runs. He's about 0.2 of a second faster than Denny Hamlin. Denny just ran a 30.93 to Carl's 30.79. So
looked like Carl was saluting.
Yeah, Carl's on a mission. He drove that baby in the corner so deep he slid up into the guy, and
little wave there, like, you got to know I'm coming. What's up? It's hard to say before we saw that little excuse me there in turn 3, but I mean, he led almost half the race in Kentucky, didn't get the win. Matter of fact, had his worst finish of the season, and he's been dominant here tonight, but finds himself in a 15th place, a lap down, coming up on 30 laps to go, and you know, I mean, he and Hamlin have had the 2 best cars here, and we don't know who might have won if they would race head-to-head, but he's going to be just disgusted over that turn of luck.
He's probably disgusted. These Busch regulars are liking it right now, because let's face it, Carl's got a gazillion-point lead. He's won a pile of races. These Busch regulars will see this as an opportunity. Look at Jason Luffler, Coleman, guys like that.
Carl drives around the outside of the 71 and down on the inside of Mike Bliss into the grass. That's 2 great race car drivers.
That looked like a Dale Earnhardt Sr. move, didn't it? I've seen him do stuff like that before.
I closed my eyes.
Trouble front straightaway. Caution flag is out with 29 laps to go. 56 car into the wall. That is Frank Cryer. Carl Edwards is on the lead lap, or will be momentarily. Oh my. Ha.
Business getting ready to pick up.
Yes, sir. 7th caution flag of this race. And I'm going to guess it's not going to be the last one. Now, do you pit?
These guys got a lot of laps on the tires right now. If they've got a set of tires in the pits, they're going to put them on.
You got to put them on. You can't stay out on those tires that old right now. And the big question is who's got tires and who doesn't.
I think they all have a set left, or should.
Remember, Shannon was talking about earlier, Denny Hamlin Made that one extra pit stop from some of these other guys. They were trying to cool off and glue up 15-lap old tires in case they needed them. If my memory serves on her report correctly, I believe that's what she told us. So 15-lap tires to put on that car when some of these other guys might have a fresher set.
That can make a difference.
Well, this will be interesting. Pace trucks got the field in tow, so the pit road will be open when they come by this time. There are 15 cars on the lead lap, including Carl Edwards, once he gets sent around. One thing we know, Carl will start at the end of those lead lap cars. He'll be no better than 15th on the restart.
That is the NASCAR rule. Once you get that lucky dog, you have to start at the end of the lead lap cars, regardless of what people do as far as pit strategy and pit.
Who's going to come in? Looks like they all are going to stop. Dave, lead us off.
And Jason Leffler's crew is saying, I hate this position, but we gotta come. We will put 2 right side tires on here, no adjustment, splash of gas. Hopefully that'll help him with a little adjustment as far as the weight of the car is concerned for Jason. Jamie.
And David Rudiman been complaining he's tight in the center. He said his car plows like a dump truck on the exit. They're gonna make some adjustments and try to get him straightened out. 4 tires and fuel. Obviously, they will be good to the end. Shannon.
Well, Jamie, I showed you those tires that the 20 team were cooling off. Those tires are now going on that number 20 car. 15 laps on those tires. Denny Hamlin also says that it's a little tight center, loose off, so they made a slight track bar adjustment, and he's off.
Had a couple guys, look out on pit road. Wow. Brad Coleman, Todd Bodine, David Reagan there. Andy, we had a couple guys try some strategy there.
Yeah, Scott Wimmer got 2 tires, got out first. So did Jason Leffler. Jason Keller looks like gained 5 spots, got just 2 tires. The 18 and the 6 got together coming off pit road. Looked like the 6 may have got the worst of that.
Yeah. And I want to check and see what Jason Keller's team did too on their pit stop, because he gained an awful lot of positions. They I would seriously doubt, took 4 tires. Right front.
Yeah, the 6 car came out. There was just about 3 wide there. We can see in the side of the 18 where the 6 car's right front fender went. I think that David Reagan got the worst of this.
Andy, it looks like he got it on the left side and the right side of the 18 car. Both sides are caved in. Look like a cue ball coming out of there. Let's watch this. Bam there, bam there.
Together.
They got both sides of that 18 car.
Todd Bodine in the 10 car, his car's already torn up. So he's just going to force his way out.
What's the damage going to be there?
Really.
View from Mike Wallace following David Reagan down pit road. And yeah. Man, that's tight.
Yep. The guy who made him just might have made the best move of the night was Scott Wimmer, putting right sides on, getting out ahead of that crowd. He did a great job beating everybody out there.
Carl Edwards is in, Jamie.
Well, guys, they're going to mix it up a little bit. They put scuffs on the right side, stickers on the left sides. Carl told Pierre, give us the best tires you got, and this is what they came up with. He's got his work cut out ahead of him, but the good news is he is back on the lead lap.
Remember, they used up a set of right side stickers when they had the cut tire and took just the right sides only. Well, Carl's going to be 15th. Scott Wimmer's going to be the leader. Denny Hamlin's going to be 4th. And Ben Steger's had a busy night carrying those right side tires around for Stephen Light. Now pluck that rubber out of there too. Very nice. Back at the Milwaukee Mile, things are getting interesting. Going to get a restart with 24 laps to go. Scott Wimmer, right sides only on his pit stops, the leader. There's Denny Hamlin, the first car to get 4 tires, as Jason Leffler and Jason Keller, 2nd and 3rd, also just took rights. Hamlin's 4th, the leader before the caution, and now on the lead lap and back in 15th place is Carl Edwards, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
And they're going to pay off in 25 laps.
Yeah, imagine that. Well, let's see how fast. Remember, you got lap cars on the inside too. Let's see how fast they can get through the traffic. Three wide for Carl.
He's getting all he can get right now. The guy's trying to get all he can get is Jason Leffler's got those fresh right sides just like Wimmer does. He knows he's got to strike right now if he's going to get past Wimmer, as soon as those tires start wearing, that's when you're in trouble.
That one didn't work for Carl. Got a little wide out there in the corner. Lost a couple spots.
This is the first time that Scott Wimmer's had clean air in front of him. He's out front looking strong.
The Wisconsin boy trying to hold on for a huge win at the home state track. He and Leffler just on right side tires on the pit stop. Denny Hamlin is through for third. He got around Jason Keller. That's Hamlin in the red and white car coming quickly.
We heard Pat Smith say that they didn't have, the 29 car didn't have a good short run car. If they could just get some laps under their belt here, they might be able to hold these guys off. This is where they've been the most vulnerable in the first part of the run.
And Carl Edwards isn't going anywhere right now. He's trapped in a big pile of lap traffic. Not missing anything with him yet.
You see the fastest laps of the night being made right here at the end.
Imagine that. There's a trophy nearby. Oh, Leffler really skating off the corner.
Top three cars in clean air right now. Let's take a good look at what we got for lap times. Okay, still Wimmer, the fastest car on the track right now. Leffler's about a 1/10 of a second behind him, and so was Hamlin. So with just two right side tires, Wimmer is outrunning Denny Hamlin.
Edwards in 14th place, trying to take 13th from Mike Wallace in the 7. He's just done it. But boy, he lost a lot of ground messing around in that lap traffic bottleneck, or getting messed around in that lap traffic bottleneck.
Guys, I don't see Denny Hamlin running down these top two guys right now. Wimmer's got that clean air. The 29 car sucked to the ground. Look how low that air dam is again. Andy, we talk about aero push. We talk about coil binding. This Richard Childress team always seems like they get it right. Carl Edwards are looking there. He's on a mission also, but, you know, he's back in 12th position right now. 20 laps to go.
Scott Wimmer, hometown boy, he wants to win here real bad. He's got the lead. 20 laps to go this time.
Wimmer says it'd be a dream. Oh, caution in turn 4. Kevin Hamlin spun around. That's huge for Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards, and bad for Scott Wimmer. He did not want to see that yellow.
This is not what he wanted to see, because he has trouble getting going on restarts. And he doesn't need the best two cars really in the race, 20 Denny Hamlin and the 60 Carl Edwards, to be able to close up any ground on him.
Well, the only thing saving that right now, guys, is Leffler's been pretty doggone fast too. So Denny, I would think, is going to have a tough time getting around Leffler. Those two are going to be racing for it, and Wimmer's probably going to check out and get gone. Got to get that buildup off those tires and get a good, clean restart.
Jason Leffler's still thinking about winning too.
Oh, that's Mike Wallace in the 7. Little nip there. They were racing for position, Wallace and Hamlin. Boy,
great job, Bobby Hamilton Jr. getting around this.
Yeah. All right, so rewinding and getting ready to do it again. You're going to have Wimmer and Leffler still up front, Hamlin 3rd. Now Edwards is 12th. And the restart's going to come with more than 10 laps to go, so there'll still be all the lap cars down to the inside.
I got to think that Carl Edwards has run out of time with only 18 laps to go. He's too far back. Scott Wimmer's car is real fast right now. Jason Leffler really wants to win too. I don't see him laying over for Denny Hamlin or Scott Wimmer.
Yeah. So Scott Wimmer in pursuit of a win that he thinks would be a dream victory at the Milwaukee Mile. His crew chief, Pat Smith, looking on. Been talking to him all night. Want to try him again?
Scott Wimmer, Rusty Wallace, ESPN. Crunch time, 18 to go, and Denny Hamlin does not appear to be catching you. Looks like your key here is get those tires scrubbed off and get a good restart. You feeling good about yourself right now?
I feel really good, Rusty. The guys did a great job on that pit stop with 2 tires. Really, the car out in clean air is a lot better than it was back in traffic, so that's definitely a plus for us. But we just got to get a good, clean restart here. And Carl, they think Carl's back there, but he's in traffic, so hopefully we can stretch it out again here and get my first win at the Milwaukee Mile.
All right, man, good job. Thanks for talking to us. Hey, get that rubber off those tires. Get that thing back and forth. Got to get a good, clean restart. I know Pat's thinking that. All right, thanks for talking to us, buddy.
Bet. Thanks for the advice.
Hey, Pat, Andy up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Andy.
I know you guys got your fingers crossed up there, and nothing you can do right now but just kind of cheer him on. You guys feel pretty good?
Just let all these people come out to watch. Shootout. It'll be fun.
Okay, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Of course, Pat Smith making the call to get just the 2 tires on the pit stop and get the car out in clean air. Scott talked about a minute ago, Scott Wimmer, what a key that was for them, getting the car out in front. We'll see if they can hold on to it. Been a while since Scott Wimmer's won one of these Busch Series races.
Well, I tell you what, I had myself in that cockpit just then. You know, I'm thinking, got to get this baby cleared out. Don't want that motor stumbling. Can't have any rubber built up on the tires. We're sitting there talking to Scott, and I saw him driving around there. I'm going, man, hope I haven't distracted him. Let's get those tires back and forth. Get this thing, can't spin any tires, Andy. You know that? You'd be telling me that.
Yeah, I know. I'd be saying, get those things cleaned off. Get that thing in gear. Let's go.
Talked about the leader. Let's talk about the second place car, Dave.
And Alan, they really wish that Pat Smith had made the call for 4 tires on the 29. Then the call for 2 on the 38 would have put him out front. They saw that as their only opportunity to win this race. Now their only opportunity is to try to jump Scott Wimmer on the restart. That's when Loeffler's car is best, not after Wimmer gets going. Shannon?
Dave, before that last caution, it looked like Denny Hamlin was going to run away with this race. They put those tires on that had 15 laps on them, and they're too tight. Denny came over the radio and told crew chief Dave Rogers, I have nothing, I'm trying. Dave Rogers said, I know, Denny, you never leave anything out on the track, but right now I need you to dig down deep. Jamie?
Well, Pierre Cattell, the crew chief for Carl Edwards, is saying the same thing. You know, Carl came over the radio just a few moments ago and said his temperatures were up to about 245. He was a little concerned something was on that front grille, but they looked through the binoculars and said he looks clear. So his temperatures are dropping right now. He's in 12th. He knows he has to make it up to the front, and he has about 25 laps to do it, guys. It's going to be a shootout, as we heard Wimmer's camp saying.
Restarts, talked about him on countdown as passing opportunities. Can Loeffler do anything with Wimmer? 15 to go.
Wimmer gets a great jump down into turn 1, but he drives in just a little deep, maybe too deep.
I started to say that first corner, Randy's really tough because you got the rubber buildup. You got to get it off the car, off the tires. Looks like Loeffler got a really good low line and almost got him arrow loose coming off the corner, but looks like the 29 is starting to come back alive now.
Oh, trying to get to the outside. Man, you can see Loeffler's hands working. Can he cross over to the inside? Loeffler looking low. And while they're side by side, watch Hamlin in that 20 close up quickly.
2 hungry guys going after it. And here comes a third one.
Ooh, man, this is tight. And as a driver, you do not want that 20 car under your bumper, making you loose up off the corner. And the guy in a tough position is Jason Loeffler.
3 equal cars, 3 wide.
Who's going to lead this lap? Hamlin to the inside, the 3 wide pass. Is he going to slide up in front of Wimmer for the race lead?
Wimmer fighting, just trying to stay up on the outside. Whoa, just can't do it.
Wow.
Denny Hamlin's got the clean air.
I have to agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue about that one. That's
power move right there.
Curtis Markham, the spotter, chiming in there from up on the roof. He's got a great seat to
Wimmer
watch this.
underneath him. He's not over yet. He's got a good bite. He's got Denny up on the top side of the track. Scott was faster than Denny right before that last caution flag. And Wimmer needs to strike back right now while he's got good, fresh tires still.
Oh, goodbye. Look at the run that Hamlin just got off of 2.
Oh, come on. Don't be giving up on him now.
I just watching the picture there. Man, he drove away from him off that corner.
Yeah, he did. But I'll tell you what, in that last run, Scott was faster than Denny Hamlin, but Denny's got the clean air now. And, guys, we all know that is everything.
He rolled the dice there on that move just to get out front. It's going to look like it's going to pay off for him.
Be 10 laps to go. Next time they cross the start-finish line for Denny Hamlin and Eric Almirola trying to win. Remember, Almirola started this car, led the opening 43 laps of this race. Then they made the driver change. Last time a relief driver won a major NASCAR race, Darrell Waltrip, subbing for Donnie Allison, August 7th, 1977. The Busch Series started in 1982. It's never happened in the Busch Series that we can find.
It might happen tonight.
I tell you what, I just bet myself. This is the reason I always lose in Vegas when I even try to stick a corner in a slot machine. I would have thought that Wimmer would have checked out and got away from those guys based on what I saw for lap times before the caution flag.
He just needed a couple more laps of clean air. If he could have just got a couple more laps. Those short runs have been his Achilles heel all night. Those first few laps right after a restart. As we can see now, he can keep pace with Denny Hamlin in the 20, but he doesn't have the clean air. He's not out front. And he's not giving up, though.
Yeah, and you heard what Denny said earlier. He said, I'm toast. I'm done. I can't. These scuffed tires, and now you see Wimmer kicking their rear end out, losing the rear end, trying to catch him.
That's where the crew chief really has to get in that driver's head. We heard Dave Rogers tell Denny Hamlin, hey, just give it. You can dig down. I need you to dig down deep here. You got some more. Show it to me. Give it to me.
Well, he dug down deep through the floorboard and into the asphalt on that one. That's for sure. Because, you know, a clean air is the coolest thing in the
turn
world.
4. Got some cars spinning around. Caution flag is out. 11 car Mark Mitchell has gone around. There's 59 of Marcus Ambrose. There's one other back there trying to get himself righted. Cale Gale in the 33. Oh, and I didn't see Brett Sherman up against the inside wall.
Okay, another opportunity for Wimmer right now. He knew what he did wrong last time. Got up a little high in the racetrack. Didn't get the tires in quick enough. He's probably thinking, all right, one more shot.
Let's see what happened here.
Looks like these guys stacked up in the corner got together.
Put Richard Johns on the spun list.
And then these other guys, we see Ambrose spinning to try to miss Marcus Ambrose in 59. Richard Johns gets into the 11 car. Spins Mark Mitchell around.
Well, caution is out now. We're inside 10 laps to go. It'll be a single file restart, and the story of the day so far is the scramble of the Joe Gibbs Racing team and their drivers during this race. Denny Hamlin's chopper couldn't land here. There were cars parked on the helipad, so Eric Almirola, who qualified the car on pole, had to get in and start the race. They left Almirola in it for a while, but after leading the first 43 laps of the race, made the call to put Hamlin in. It took them a while to make the driver change. They lost a lap. It took them forever to get back on the lead lap. Then at lap 144, the free pass finally for Hamlin, and he went back around. Carl Edwards had a bad pit stop, got shuffled back in traffic, then caught a tire. That took him out of contention after dominating most of the race. And there's a 3-wide pass for the race lead moments ago. Hamlin by Scott Wimmer and Jason Leffler. Man, what a night
effort.
What about it? And he comes from California, gets stuck in the helicopter. The race is going on. He's standing down in Stephen Wallace's pit as a backup because Stephen's sick in the car. Now he's back in his own car leading the race. He's going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, wow, I can't believe what just happened last night.
And Almirola put this car on the pole. This is really, really a team effort.
And started the race and will get credit for the victory should Hamlin hold on and win. Remember when Almirola got out of the car, you saw in the video there a moment ago, he did not look too happy and walked away. And, you know, the team hasn't commented on the situation during our requests for them to earlier in the night, but, you know, this is the hometown of their sponsor, Rockwell.
Yeah, it looks like the pictures are speaking for itself right now. Again, I feel bad for Eric, but if Hamlin does win, he does get the win, doesn't he? I mean, he's going to be credited for the win, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
And we'll get to talk to him in Victory Lane. And we'll get to the bottom of the whole
Okay, what about the bump and run? Is the bump and run going to come in? 6 to go. We see it at these short tracks a lot, you know, on the Cup side, Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be thinking that the 29, got to get up to the backup, going into turn 1, get him arrow loose.
You got to catch him before you can hit him. We'll see how the start goes.
Do you want it?
How do you know, it's going to be a little bump and run or get him arrow loose, or if he gets him up the racetrack, up in that old part of the track where the tire rubber is, 29 might have a shot at winning this baby. Scott Wimmer.
Right now what's going on the racetrack is they're calling out the restart order to the drivers because it's a single file restart with just lead lap cars at the front of the line. So they're trying to get the field in position properly for this final sprint. And then they're going to let him go. And we're getting the 1 to go signal here, so the restart will come with 4 laps to go. Shannon?
Well, Alan crew chief Dave Rogers came over the radio and told Denny Hamlin that the 29 of Scott Wimmer has been instructed to win at all costs. He told Denny Hamlin, get a good restart. He said, man, on that last restart. I told you to dig down deep. You dug down deeper than anyone I've ever seen. Just keep digging and bring home the hardware. Now right behind him, Scott Wimmer. He was instructed by his crew chief. He said, this is our shot. We have fenders, we have bumpers. Go out and win this race. Dave?
Remember last year, Jason Leffler was running in 6th position when the leaders in front of him got in trouble. Big wreck. Jason drove through it, got some damage on his car, and ended up coming home 4th. Tonight has been a little bit more straightforward for the 38 team, but they just don't seem to have the speed for the 29 and 20. Jason's going to give it one more try, be sure, on this last restart. Jamie.
Well, guys, it is racing, and just when Carl Edwards and all of his fans thought it was going to be another checkout win for him, things got interesting. He went a lap down. He fought his way back. He got his lap back. He's up to 9th now. He's on a charge, and he keeps asking Pierre Cattell, what are the lap times of the 20 car? He believes, of course, he can get this thing home to victory lane. Remember, he's coming off his worst finish at 33rd last week. He wants to better that, and guys, he's never finished better than 14th here at Milwaukee.
And the way this thing might be, I'm not sure any of them are going to finish. It's going to get interesting. Here we go. 4 laps left in this one. Pace truck heads off. Hamlin, Wimmer, Leffler, and then Jason Keller. Never know.
And Hamlin gets a good start.
Coleman around the outside of Keller. That'll be for 4th place. If he can finish the pass.
And they come to the gearbox and watch the 29 car. He just looked like the leader was just pulled away by the car. Like he just couldn't get him on that restart. He needed to have his bumper right on him going into 1 to get him loose. Give him a little love tap, knock him out of the way. Just didn't happen.
20 car just too strong.
Remember that the 29 just got right side tires on the last pit stop. 20 car got 4.
Even though they had 15 laps on them.
You know, Denny's a short track racer. He's come from the Southeast short track, you know, Hickory, North Carolina.
How about these guys?
These guys know what
27 and 18 just swapped spots here.
Oh, look at Carl with the back of that line. He had his hands full.
2 laps to go.
This is for the 4th and 5th positions. 18 of Coleman, 27 of Keller. Coleman's going to get the spot. And up front, Denny Hamlin trying to check out and get away from Scott Wimmer. If he gets to the start-finish line, that takes out the green-white checker if there's no caution in this next few seconds.
Scott Wimmer, 29, he beat Denny Hamlin the last lap by 10.
And there it is, white flag, final lap at Milwaukee.
I don't believe he's going to have enough time, but Wimmer's got the fastest car on the track right now.
Denny Hamlin started the day in Sonoma, California on the Infineon Raceway Road Course, practicing his next L Cup car for tomorrow's race. Got here late, jumped in the car after Almirola qualified it on the pole and led the start of the race.
Hell yes.
And it will have all been worth it for him.
You got heart, baby. You got heart. We all love you.
Denny Hamlin wins at the Milwaukee Mile.
Awesome job, Denny. Eric, if you're listening, you did an awesome job, too.
Eric, this is your race car, man. I appreciate everything you did.
Guys, there's a lot of emotion tonight. We got hardware. We set up all won the race. Just want to thank all the people from Rockwell for making it all happen. Let's try.
Well, in the record books, it's going to say Eric Almirola won the AT&T 250 in Milwaukee tonight.
That's some kind words from the crew, though, that Denny had towards Eric. I mean, he brought Eric back in to make him feel part of this win, part of the team.
The crew
That's
chief,
awesome.
Crew chief also coaching Denny Hamlin and making him, helping him dig deep.
I think we're in for some burnouts. Let's talk to the crew chief while we watch him. Shannon?
I'm here with crew chief Dave Rogers. What an emotional night for you. First of all, I have to ask, who and when did you guys make the decision? Who made the decision to take Eric out of that car and put Denny in?
It was a group decision. It's tough, you know. Denny really didn't want to get in it. We didn't really want to take Eric out. But this is Rockwell's global headquarters, and we got a lot of Rockwell employees up in the stands.
Denny doing a burnout right in front of us.
Yeah, we got a lot of Rockwell fans up in the stands, and you know, they made it clear they wanted to see Denny Hamlin win, and they came to see Denny race. And Eric's a good friend of mine and Denny's, and it's a bittersweet victory.
All right, a win for Eric Almirola and Denny Hamlin and the number 20 team tonight.
Virginia Tech, remembered by Virginian Denny Hamlin in his celebration tonight.
Some decisions are tough.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a Polish victory lap to honor Alan Quickie and Virginia Tech.
Sure. Alan from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
This decision really paid off for this team, though. What a great story.
What a night. The dominance of Carl Edwards, the flat tire. He came back around. Edwards wound up finishing 8th. The whole helicopter problem and the drama to get this driver in the car to start the race, and then it didn't happen, and he wound up in it, and they'll share the victory tonight, Eric Almirola and Denny Hamlin. Scott Wimmer finishes 2nd. Jamie?
Well, the local hero here getting congratulations from your competitors. Jason Leffler finished right behind you. Scott, take us through those last couple of restarts. The battle with Denny Hamlin, how deep did you really have to dig?
Well, I just drove as hard as I could. Unfortunately, we weren't very good on the short run all night, and even when Carl was leading and Denny got up there, we get going after 20 laps, and I didn't need those cautions. We had a good lead going there, and we were running pretty good, but those last few restarts, we just killed us. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get a win one day. Maybe we won't. I don't know.
Well, Scott Wimmer finishes 2nd, his best. Now let's go over to Dave Burns in victory lane.
Denny Hamlin out of the car now. The winner, he got to the finish line first, although it appears his teammate Eric Almirola will be credited with the victory. Let's talk about the range of emotions tonight, Denny. First of all, passing that many cars coming from behind to beat the field tonight.
I tell you, to do it on old tires, you know, we didn't have the tires those guys had at the end, and you know, we had to put on 15, 16 laps of Scoffs, and I was really worried, but man, what a great race car. We really made improvements on it throughout the day, and Dave did such a great job. The whole team, man, I could not be prouder to do this for Rockwell Automation in their hometown. It means a lot.
Dave Rogers said you were reluctant to get behind the wheel and replace Eric.
I didn't want to do it. I mean, I knew he would be really upset as well as he was running at the time. You know, but we got to do what we got to do, and you know, I definitely wasn't my choice, but for the sure thing to come out here and get this win after such a long trip and not being able to land and everything, just sitting out the first 60 laps, that was amazing to come back and win this thing.
Denny Hamlin proved himself in this Busch Series for Joe Gibbs Racing. He graduated to the Nextel Cup Series. He proves he's still the man and wins tonight in Milwaukee. Alan?
And it's on to New Hampshire, another flat mile track next Saturday. Can't wait to see it. 2:30 Eastern, ABC. Hope that you'll join us. Next, the ProCare RX NHRA Super Nationals qualifying here on ESPN2. What a night.
What a story.
Incredible.
Oh, man.
One of the greatest races I've seen in a long time, guys.
I'm glad I was here.
Fans here in Milwaukee are going to go away talking about this one tonight. Eric Almirola will get credited with his first NASCAR Busch Series win. The difficult decision, Denny Hamlin getting behind the wheel at lap 43 of this race, coming back from a lap down and scoring the win. For Andy Petrie, Rusty Wallace, and our entire ESPN crew, Alan Bestwick, good night from Milwaukee. See you in New Hampshire.